The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink!
Stop! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this White Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. This program starts now. Football is the greatest, and today will be another celebration of that. There's a lot of storylines, a lot of conversation. We have some tape from the O-line that we're going to look at. We're going to go into the OG in the trenches with a man who played 12 years in the NFL. He's a Super Bowl champion as a player and coach. He's Jackie Moon. He's AQ Shipley.
Hey, AQ.
In the trenches.
In the trenches. With OG.
In the trenches. I assume as, content continues to evolve, there's going to be a lot of in the trenches that are going to take place because in the trenches are where you win ball games, and in the trenches is where we go whenever we break down offensive lines from all around the NFL every single week for the last
several years,
handful of years in this entire thing. But what you are going to point out, I think, to the people today is going to be something that's a little eye-opening. I can't wait to dive into that conversation. The Talks Table is here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Love the hat-shirt combo. Just want to let you know that.
Thank you very much. The hat, who knows? I just figured I'd wear this on there to show solidarity with the great state of West Virginia and some of your friends who have had an active morning this morning. But I feel as though, Neil Brown not winning 3 straight Big 12 games needs to be brought up at some point. But I just want to wear the hat to support him.
Yeah, why do you need to bring that stuff up? It was in the text. Doesn't need to make the air.
It just feels like
Narduzzi's taking shots already at West Virginia. People in West Virginia are taking shots at West Virginia. People that went to West Virginia no longer live in West Virginia. Kind of feeling bad for the people that are still in West Virginia. Yeah. And that's all because of how the football team goes. And then all of a sudden we have stats and analytics people coming out of the woodwork saying, oh, you think it's bad? Let me remind – I don't know if you guys have noticed this yet.
I didn't.
Head coach hasn't won 3 games straight yet. Oh, it's like –
Say what?
Been there a long time. Mm-hmm. That climb has been a rough one. 2 wins. Then we go ahead and take a break.
Yep.
Boys need to be rested. Then we're going to take 2 wins. Then we're going to break again. Then we do 1 sometimes, take a break, and then we go the other way. And that's when the boys really start to climb again. And we go 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 2 for 1. How you doing? Keep moving. We haven't won anything, really, in a long time. That's been a bummer because this year was supposed to be the year. Still can be the year. Big 12 is still right in front of us. Let's never, ever forget that, con man.
Yeah, I don't know about that, especially when you're thinking about some of the teams in that Big 12. Utah's got a squad. Those Utes, they play defense. And I just want to unbiasedly root for West Virginia and also point out that maybe at some point we need to stop settling for some mediocrity because that's all we've gotten since I've become a fan, and I don't like it one bit.
Yeah, me neither, to be clear. I don't love it as well. I would like to be able to be on College Game Day every single week just talking my shit. First couple weeks, a lot of West Virginia chatter.
Ton. Yeah.
A lot of West Virginia. Kirk said too much. Mm-hmm. You hear Kirk said, after today, we've done enough West Virginia talk. It's like, Kirk, you need to relax.
Kirby.
Okay, you need to relax. I think Kirk would get behind the Mountaineers if the Mountaineers were to go on a run. But boy, I think Kirk has done a lot more research maybe. Like all these stats and analytics that are coming out about what's happening in West Virginia football, Kirk already had those already all locked in. Mm-hmm. And he's like, this is a false hope you got here, brother. Yeah. This is just how things are. I don't think that's the case. The future's bright. We're going to continue to climb. GG's going to run wild. With that being said, great hat, good merch, good brand.
Great brand. Fantastic brand.
Good colors.
One of the best brands in college football. That's why, you want to see them with the other best brands in college football.
Yeah, I like it. 9-year NFL vet, one of the smartest humans in the history of football, Derek J. Butler's here.
Was that 3 big UConn? We just want 3 games, period, right now. But that's 3 Big 12 wins in a row, or 3 wins in a row, period.
I think it's.
which ones matter the most? At the end of the day, you better be 3 in a row, but even if it's 3 Big 12 games in a row, that's not good either.
Nonetheless, we don't need this whole first fucking 10 minutes.
I didn't expect it to go
You
this
did.
way.
You did.
No, I didn't.
That's why you did this.
No, I did. I swear.
Let's go over to Hammer.
Dahn.
Tone Diggs is over there. Tone, good to see you. Can't wait to check back into you.
Yep.
We just talked a little bit about the Big 12 there. Big one this weekend, Utah, Okie State, right?
Huge. Yeah, it's a huge one in Oklahoma State. Basically, right now it's Oklahoma State, Utah, and K-State at the top of the Big 12, and the winner of this one is going to have a huge upside when it comes to the Big 12 championship this year.
Avery Johnson, quarterback for Kansas State. That dude's a dog.
Great flow.
Gatorade Player of the Year in Kansas. Had offers to Oregon and to Washington. Stays in Kansas. Plays at Kansas State. Played in 8 games last year. Blew it up in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. MVP of the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
That's right.
Then he comes into this year. It's his team. He's dual threat. He's a dog. Kansas State's got like a real wagon over there.
Oh, yeah.
And you talk about Utah, always going to be good, seemingly, under this coach, this regime. That's what Utah is. It was an honor to go out and see how they operate over there, legitimately. And then don't look, Okie State. Gundy's growing that mullet back.
Oh, yeah?
Thank God.
Yeah, he needs it.
Big time.
Legitimately needs it.
Country needs it.
College ball's awesome. The NFL also obviously in full swing. Storylines are developing. And AQ, we haven't had a chance to chat with you since week 2 of the NFL season has ended. What's the big storyline you think coming out of week 2 in your eyes?
Yeah, so for me, when you go 0-1, you start to panic. You hit the panic button, right? When you go 0-2, you question everything. You question your offense. You question how we're using the tight ends. You question what you're eating for lunch. And you start going in, you start questioning your practice habits. Do we need to hit more? Is our run game not go? Everything gets questioned, and the panic button gets even on high alert, right? So you got 2 teams, right? You got like the Dallas Cowboys and the Baltimore Ravens coming in this week, both 0-2.
Cowboys 1-1.
Cowboys 1-1. Sorry.
Yeah, have a little respect. Have a little respect for the Cowboys. Remember,
That's
they're
right.
on top of the world. They beat
But
Cleveland Browns.
But you're right. You're right. Coming off a big loss though to New Orleans, right? Like they need to win, and Baltimore 0-2 definitely needs to win. But the building, when you walk into that building and you're 0-2, it is a bad feeling every single day this week.
You're a coach. You were a coach.
Mm-hmm.
You actually were cleaning printers and stuff after winning a Super Bowl as a player and having 12 years and a full family.
That's right.
You know, they had you start back at the bottom of the absolute bullshit.
No, you got to earn your stripes.
Is that how you got that shirt?
Yeah,
gotta earn your stripes.
Yeah, gotta wear a Navy SEAL shirt enough times.
Yeah, that's it.
Then maybe they'll. But you really did grind through the coaching process. I think you enjoyed it. Who knows if you return to it? Not doing it now, it is a massive commitment. But you've got a chance to hear behind the scenes of those coaches. They're panicking, right?
100%.
And whenever they come in a team meeting, obviously we have a plan.
And you feel it as a player. You've been in those.
Yes.
You've been in those situations. I mean, now you go 0-3. The chances of you climbing out of 0-3, that means you got to win 11 of your next 14, 15 games, right? Like that's where we're at. And it's like, man, that is such a tough hole to climb out of, especially in a division like the AFC North, right? Like that is brutal football. And for a team like Baltimore, and you know, obviously there's other situations, but you know, you feel the panic, you feel it in the locker room, you feel it. Everybody is just pressing, and it's just not a good feeling.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I was on one team that was completely defeated until the final 2 or 3 games of the season. We won 2 out of the last 3 or whatever. And boy, I'd never experienced that. College, we were winning. Won. You know, didn't win. Won a lot though. Win. That was like my baptism into the football world at practices and everything like that. High school, never went to practice, but I was in meetings. And Rich Rod was obviously a maniac,
Sure.
I will say. Accountability driven is what we'll say. You know, attention to the little things. But life was, because you're winning, it's like, yeah, we win. I get to the NFL, we go undefeated until we choose to lose my rookie year. We win. Next, we win. And then boom, that year came where we were completely defeated. That was my first time being around football, like the football world, with a completely terrible team. Everybody thinks they're going to get fired. And everybody is trying to deflect blame to other people. Everybody. Cafeteria, not good. No good vibes. Used to be the greatest vibes, not good vibes. Is this the right food? To your point, questioning everything. The daily schedule, is this the right daily schedule? Is this what we should do? Should we be changing this up? And then obviously that affects the trainers, that affects the equipment managers, their lives, their homes. They're not happy. Nobody's happy at all. Then the coaches are like, well, Linebackers have pretty good games.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, we're playing well,
Point
boys.
fingers.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know about this D-line, but if they, and it's like that culture quickly just becomes like, I don't want to say toxic, but like actually toxic. And then in the locker room, it's the same shit because everybody knows who potentially is ruining it. And then if your team, isn't doing all of the things to try to right the ship, then you got to divide in the team between the people that are actually wanting the team to do well and other people that are seemingly not caring enough. So it's just like wins cure everything. Literally everything. You can have the same amount of fuck-ups in a game. You win. Culture can remain intact. You have same amount of mess-ups. You lose. Everything needs to. It is a wild, wild world of professional sports. And that's why do these teams always get so lucky, seeming?
I don't know.
Why are they making all these calls for the Kansas City Chiefs, AQ Shipley? The Chiefs get another big-time win. Nobody's really talking about the hands to the face. Everybody's talking about the pass interference. We brought up the hands to the face. 4th and 16 is the reason why that happened. It was literally the play before that. They had picked up the first down, hand to the face. They back it up. Then they do the pass interference. Then all of a sudden, Buckner hits a kick that he's going to hit every single time, seemingly. Chiefs win again. Refs helping Chiefs. That hand to the face, though, seemed quick, but definitely worth a penalty. There's a deeper story to that entire thing.
There is, and we talked about it a little bit. So the big thing, right? BYU product, Kingsley Semoata comes out this year. He's going to be the starting left tackle for the Kansas City Chiefs. They moved on from Donovan Smith.
He's a rookie, right?
He's a rookie. They moved on from Donovan Smith last year. And they come out the first 2 weeks and they're playing him, and he's going against a stud, an absolute dog. Trey Hendrickson, one of the best edge rushers in football. And he gives up a couple pressures, a couple sacks. It's no different than any other tackle in the league, right? They decide, here's one of them. You get to see him, he makes the inside move, he gets a sack.
Throw the ball.
They end up benching him after this series, which is fourth quarter. There were 7 minutes left in this thing. Kansas City gets the ball back. Last series of the game, 2 minutes. They make a switch at left tackle, move Wanya Morris into left tackle, who, if we remember, big man touchdown earlier in the game, 6th lineman, flat route, makes the touchdown catch. Well, now, biggest drive of the game, they're down. They need a game-winning drive to go win the game. Move him to left tackle. Guess what? Big-time play. Down the middle of the field. They think they're moving up, hands to the face. Left tackle, first drive of the game, they bring him in. Huge penalty in a monumental moment in that game.
Yeah, definitely. And Patrick Mahomes makes it right anyways with the pass interference.
Of course he does.
Afterward. Well, the refs make it right.
Yeah, that's right.
Afterwards, even though the ref made this particular call. But I did not know that was a replacement left tackle. What a tough position to get dropped into, by the way. Game-winning drive here. Okay, and you got Trey Hendrickson doing his thing. You've caught a touchdown earlier. Good dancing. You're doing
Feeling
good
good.
dancing. You're feeling good. But now let's go left tackle blindside Patrick Mahomes whenever we need you. Tough spot to get dropped into. He gets a hand to the face. Is that a normal move to bench a tackle right before a game-winning drive?
Honestly, you see it here and there, but it's such a tough move when you bench an offensive lineman, let alone a rookie. It is all confidence. You're building confidence with a rookie. He's going to make mistakes. He's going to make blunders. We get it. It's week 2. But to sit there and pull him in the fourth quarter in a monumental moment, I worry about his confidence moving forward because left tackle is the biggest confidence position on the O-line. You're the one left on an island. You're the guy, right? You're the one
you're
that's
a corner.
You're getting all the best rushers every single week. You pull them. They end up going with a different guy. It's just a tough situation to be in. I worry about his confidence moving forward.
We'll see how he battles. At BYU, he's going to be good.
That's right.
Long season.
But I did not hear that from anybody. Yep. I had no idea that took place. And maybe they said it on the call, but I wasn't listening close enough.
Yeah, they showed him actually on the broadcast, the tackle they benched. They showed him right after the hands to the face by the Wanya. Did you say?
Wanya.
Yeah, Wanya. They legit went to the backup tackle on the sideline, and he wasn't too happy. He seemed a little bit distraught.
That's a massive ordeal. That is a left tackle for Patrick Mahomes against Bengals second week. Now, let's talk about some other storylines happening around the NFL. Tua gets placed on the IR, which is a minimum of 4 weeks out. If you do recall, the IR used to be you're out.
Yeah.
Then the IR became eligible for return whenever COVID was happening, and then they've kind of just kept it around as a 4-week at least type situation, even though they can designate some people, I think, to be full season IR as well. So the Miami Dolphins make this decision for Tua, they're saying, to give him ample amount of time to make the decision on whether or not he would like to return to play, seemingly, is why this decision was made. Let's go to Miami Dolphins diehard fan.
Of course.
Darius J. Butler on his thoughts about the Miami Dolphins doing this for Tua's health is what they're saying.
It's good, I think.
Okay.
Hey, I like it. Because it kind of takes some of the pressure off of him because obviously he's going to be – and I don't think when you're IR you have to talk to the media and have those press conferences even as a quarterback. So now he has time to really sit with his family, with the medical professionals, start to really feel better, have a clear mind. And it's tough. Obviously, whenever you see a guy get a concussion and lock up like that on the field, it's scary. We've seen it happen multiple times with Tua. I think he'll be back, obviously, this year, but now you take that pressure off of him up until at least mid-season. We'll see what the Dolphins' season is at that point. We'll see what Snoop does, how long they stick with Skyler. If they make a trade, I was watching some shows this morning. Stafford may be traded for in Miami. I've seen all type of scenarios being thrown. Yeah, some crazy shit being said.
Could you imagine Dolphins with
this
Matthew
morning?
Stafford?
Yeah, great, but it ain't happening.
A lot of money in the QB room.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, certainly. But Matthew Stafford maybe reworks that thing to win a Super Bowl with another team.
Wow.
down
Could
there
you
in Miami.
imagine?
Could you imagine the Stafford family down there in Miami? Mm-hmm. Wow, that would be an entire Super
Bowl. LA to Miami. But yeah, man, I hope obviously Tua makes the right decision. He gets back, whatever that right decision is for him. And hopefully we see him, as a Dolphin, we see him on the football field.
I hope the Dolphins, I'm happy that the Dolphins do this for Tua. I do believe this puts even more of a spotlight on Tua and pressure on him. Like, even the team that he plays for is like, you sure about that? Like, if you want to, like, you got obviously the outside world saying, are you sure about that? Now, seemingly, you got the Dolphins being like, want to make sure you're sure about that with the entirety. Does that add into the entire situation for Tua? We shall see. If the doctors say he's good, if the doctor's like, you're cleared to play football, and Tua wants to play football, I am very intrigued to see how this all goes. Especially with McDaniel being like seemingly one of the most caring. He kissed him on the forehead and said, hey, you're the quarterback of your family. Now the team is doing this. It's like, how do they respond to, I'm very eager to see how this all plans out. If he chooses not to play again, which a lot of people are saying should happen and think will happen, I think we'll all be like, all right, Tua, we get it. We absolutely get it. We understand it. But if he comes back in place, I'll be, what is the whole, And if doctors are clearing his brain, and then he wants to play, what's the whole reaction? I do not. Even from the Dolphins, I'll be excited to see.
For sure. But, if doctors clear him to play and he wants to play, then, this conversation's over.
Completely. You would think it is, but is it?
No, people are still going to be pissed about it, but I feel like the people right now that are saying retire are like, hey, the doctors aren't going to clear you. And it's like, well, if the doctors clear him, then he's playing. And then if he wants to play, even, the speculation of this might happen again. Well, it's like you might get hit by a car when you cross the street, but you're still going to cross the street. The guy is going to play football no matter what.
Feels like he's going to want to play football.
It feels like he's a football player. He's going to want to play football. He just signed a massive contract. He's got a great team. Coach loves his coach, loves everybody, in the organization. It's like this dude's playing football again. It's just kind of a matter of time now. And now at least there is some sort of hey, okay, 4 weeks down the road, let's see where we're at.
I think that'd be the biggest thing. Because, if he gets cleared, he is playing, period. That's the way this is going to go, and you can say whatever you want. But I think in terms of, the pressure on, him and the team as a whole, if he doesn't get cleared after 4 weeks and it takes him, 8 weeks or whatever the case may be, and then he gets cleared then, it's just going to amplify hey, this guy needs to retire.
It took him 8 weeks to get cleared.
Is
now the right time.
Exactly. That's when that stuff.
9.
Man.
That's when that stuff will really amplify. But if he gets cleared, I don't think anyone thinks there's any way that he's going to play if he gets cleared.
I feel like a terrible person for not knowing this information immediately off the top of my head, but Austin Collie, good friend of mine. Austin Collie, similar situations here. Prime time, a lot of eyes, knocked out numerous times. Locked up, scary situation. Not only for, obviously, fans of the game, but, teammates. It was uncomfortable. I assume his family, everything, because of some of the hits he took. And I think he ended up retiring because of it. And then there was, an entire situation. And, the amount of information that they have now on brain activity, I think does not equate to the amount of, medicine there is. I think there's, a lot of trial stuff to keep your brain good. Trial this, trial that. And, I think Pat Anger even is potentially on some trial stuff, potentially for brains, for potential concussions that he didn't even know that he had whenever he learned what a concussion was, and he was like, "That's a concussion."
Oh, I've had 50 of those.
I've had maybe 100 of those. It's like those things are happening, I think, to older football players. So I appreciate the fact that they're trying to make it safer and trying to make people's futures better and everything like that. But I think it's going to be very difficult to tell people that are adults something that they've committed their entire lives to. If a doctor tells them, "Hey, your brain's good," and he was very with it. You know, all the concussions we've seen with Tua, you know, he's seemingly happy, joyful, all the things we learned from the Dr. Will Smith movie. It's like miserable, depressed, not really quick anymore. Now, granted, that might be long-term effects, very long time. But in the moment here, you know, like Tua is I assume it's going to be tough to get him to think that, like, because he's had a few concussions, he shouldn't play the sport that he loves, the sport that's paying him a lot of money. He could potentially make hundreds of millions of more dollars playing this sport. He could do it, like, I don't know. I think it's going to be it's a very interesting dynamic happening.
Well, and he also fell in love with football again. Like, think about how his career started to get to where he is now. Like, he fucking loves football. And he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
That's Dolphins fan, diehard Gumpy, who I think is staring down a potential reality. We don't think it's likely, but a potential reality that Tua is not going to be able to be the quarterback for McDaniel's offense that has seemingly become a match made in heaven down there. Skylar Thompson going, but there's a lot of other chatter. Gump, how do you feel about the next 4 weeks for the Miami Dolphins?
We can still pound the rock, so we got a shot, but other than that, I mean...
You guys are a power football team.
Oh, yeah. He can run the rock. A lot of good running backs.
Run the ball. That's about all we've been doing.
Matthew Stafford goes to the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, my God.
That would be so sick.
Where'd you pull it? You saw it?
Well, I saw it in the facility this morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think it was in the training room.
So that might have legs
training
then.
room.
Well, you have legs in the training room and the facility for sure.
In the Dolphins facility or the Rams facility?
No, the facility, right?
Come on, Nick.
Congrats to those boys over there.
Shout out.
4 NFL guys running the show.
Which player in the facility was it?
Quarterback.
Yeah,
Chase Daniel.
He dialed it up. Nice mock
Scoot
trade.
City.
Yeah.
I think same draft class, I think.
Lives out there. The
I
perfect
don't know.
mix
I think they
of
played together at the Lions.
Who?
Chase Daniel and Matthew Stafford.
He's the one that said Matthew. Wait, we should start piecing some things together here. I did not know this. So Chase Daniel said, "Why not Matthew Stafford?" Or he's hearing Matthew Stafford.
No, he wasn't. I think it was him proposing the trade. So I don't think it was him piecing together. I don't think it was some insider information. I know a lot of news about insiders today, but it wasn't that. I think it was him.
Would you like to say your piece on what?
Please go on.
I mean, look, he got to start at the Hartford Current. That was one of my favorite papers, being a UConn guy. You know, so shout out, salute to Woj. Great career. Going back to his family.
Way to go, Woj.
I mean, the GM.
Hell of a run. St. Bonaventure Bonnies have maybe, the most known general manager in the history of college sports.
Taking their over.
Yeah, NIL, also the assistant to the coach, I believe.
Supporting their very successful coach.
This kind of came out of nowhere, I think, for a lot of folks in the sports media world. But Woj, hey, we'll never forget the bombs you dropped throughout the NBA coverage over the last whatever. Now, we do know another person who is incredibly handsome, good on TV, plugged, currently a free agent, I believe.
What?
Has there been texts and calls of, like, the universe literally just pieced this thing together, seemingly, Shams Charania.
Okay.
Shami.
Okay.
Shams Charania is the answer.
That's
Who's
right.
the guy?
I know there's conversations happening. And people are going to say that this is obviously who we're going to say. But if you take our bias out of this conversation, there's only one answer. It's Shams Charania.
Simple.
Yeah.
Legit. Now, bias in, great on our show, literally can handle anything, seemingly plugged in everywhere.
Good jumper.
Plugged in, can shoot a basketball. Always handsome.
Yes.
Great fits. Great fits.
Always suited and booted.
Loves lunch.
Loves lunch. He eats his oatmeal with a fork.
Correct.
She's
So
one
he's
of
a little bit unique. You know what you're going to need.
Has alarms to remind himself to drink water.
Bingo. Gets dehydrated.
Yep.
No longer because and that's the type of attention to detail that Shams Charania has towards his entire life, but also to basketball coverage. But back to what you were saying. You were about to reiterate something.
Oh, yeah. So obviously, we have all the programs.
Shams Charania is the answer.
Easy answer. But, Chase, once again, on the facility, proposed Rams get Bryce Young, Dolphins get Matt Stafford, Panthers get Dolphins second and Rams third round pick. So, and it's really not that crazy according to Chase Daniel. So,
that's conversations happening in the facility.
Stafford would love that too. I mean, I'm blocking for him this week for the Rams. I mean, that would be a good situation for him.
The Rams conversation has certainly changed. We'll dive into the offensive line there. But you just brought up Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. Coach Canales actually spoke about the decision, and we'll let you kind of decide whether or not you think it was a Tepper decision or if it was GM head coach decision.
Yeah, it's a lot of those factors. And again, I hate to sound like a broken record. I owe it to all of the guys, the coaches, the staff, the players, everybody involved to be really critical about what we put on film, about what I'm seeing, and to make sure that I'm constantly making the best decision for the team every week. And it happens to be the quarterback position. And so it's loaded that way, but it's every position, and it's all the guys. And I was able to stand in front of the team and challenge all the guys that we all have to step up our passion for what we're doing to play with the play style that we're looking for.
A lot of I'm in there, right? When he's talking about the culture that he was trying to set on the team. He said there's a standard, and obviously the quarterback's going to be talked about more because what comes with that position, but I need to be able to stand in front of the team and say, hey, you got to be able to produce or you're not going to have a job. Him saying to the team, like, we're going to move on to Andy Dalton because the production from our number 1 overall pick just over a year ago is not to the standard that we were trying to find here, and that is for every position. Some people want to be a Panther, some people won't be Panthers. That's just how the future looks here. I think that's very empowering probably for a coach to be able to make that move, especially to a number 1 overall pick and to a new general manager being able to make that move from the ownership of David Tepper. So congrats to Tepper taking his hands seemingly off the wheel. But with that being said, they definitely came into that building and said, we have no loyalty to anything that happened in this building before we got here. That is why you were hiring us. How do you feel about the move, AQ Shipley?
Yeah, I think you nailed it right there. They are not tied at the hip one bit to Bryce Young. And so they were going to test it out for a couple weeks, and clearly it has looked bad. I'm sure there's more pieces to that puzzle, but he has looked bad, and they are not going to ride their coattails with him. They're going to go with Andy Dalton. Now, all that does right there with what he just said is put more pressure on everybody else on that offense. Obviously, Andy can go out and just kind of free wing it, but now the eyes are on the offensive line. Now the eyes are on everybody else too, which, it can be really interesting moving forward.
You talked about it too, the panic, that comes in. Hey, you don't want to start 0-3. And the 0-2, it was ugly. It's one thing to be 0-2, but it's another thing to be 0-2 and not even be competitive. Even on that team in Indy those years ago, like, you guys were competitive. I feel like in a lot of those games, it came down to, like, fourth quarter. It wasn't like you were, 4-5 touchdown losses. Had hope in a lot of those games. So when you're coming in and you don't have hope, you got to keep that locker room, especially if you're a new head coach. You can't just be saying a song and dance and trotting out the same guy. And it always starts with the quarterback. Once again, that was a good roster. Lost the quarterback for the season, didn't have a chance. You got a guy on the roster, Andy Dalton, who we know can play good NFL football. Not sure about that with Bryce Young. Haven't seen it. So I like the move, and I like the ownership that it seems like Canales is taking with it.
Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is somebody who will have a much better answer than you guys got great answers than myself or Connor, Ty, or Tone would ever have. This dude's obviously Super Bowl champ. They made his life a movie, okay? And it's called American Underdog Story. And it'll have you crying your fucking eyes out.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Kurt Warner.
What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Before we dive into the football and Bryce Young, American Underdog Story 2, is that coming out?
No plans for that. My wife doesn't want to have any part of that right now. So maybe a long time in the future. I got to accomplish some more things first.
Man, the sequel is always worth it.
Perfect. It is.
That'll be the second movie I'll ever watch that'll make me cry. Your first movie is the first one that I did. Your story is phenomenal, which leads me to a great question about Bryce Young, because obviously you were benched. You actually gave a shout out to Tom Coughlin for benching you in the time that he did and how he handled it with transparency, and it made you the person you were. And looking back on it, you appreciate that situation. The amount of adversity in your life, I feel like, really propelled you to become the player and human that you are. So all those bad situations led to obviously a great outcome. For Bryce Young being benched here, week 2 of his second year with a brand new coaching staff, brand new general manager, how'd you feel about the news whenever you heard it? And what do you think this means for Bryce Young?
I mean, first and foremost, it's obviously not easy.
There.
You know, it's one of those things that it's a tough situation to get benched at any point in time in your career, whether you've had success, whether you're a new guy. So it's tough. But if you look at the decision, the first thing you look at is the fact that he hasn't played good football. And you wonder if he was ready to be able to handle everything that goes into being a starting quarterback in the National Football League. And we've seen this a lot over the last few years of guys getting thrown in there before they're ready, and they're asked to, be competitive. They're asked to try to carry a team that's not very good while learning how to play in the National Football League. And so it's obvious when you watch the tape that Bryce wasn't ready to handle all that goes into it. And, Bryce was in a unique situation because a lot of times we get these young quarterbacks that are great athletes and can run around and create and have these big arms. They can make up for things with their athletic ability. Bryce isn't one of those guys. And so he's got to win with processing and getting the ball out on time and having good technique to make sure that he's accurate with his throws. And those are all things that he's struggling with right now. The ball comes out too late. His technique is hurting him in terms of getting the ball out on time. You couple that with a team that's not great around him that can't, cover up some of those issues. And you can understand from a football perspective why they made this move. I think the other side of it, too, is to maybe see this as a situation where it was needed for Bryce Young, the person, the expectations, what he's been asked to do. He was just talking about that, just the idea of, all the pressure on him. And now it gets deflected a little bit to other people. And so, now you're in a situation where, okay, it's not all about me being the savior. He can step back. He can step away from the expectations. And then, you've got to internally look at yourself and go, okay, what part in this did I have? Right? It's easy to go, well, they didn't believe in me and it's only 2 games and all of this stuff. But when I was in those situations, I always had to ask myself, okay, why? Was there something that I was accountable for that I wasn't doing well enough that I need to be better at for the next time around so I can put my best foot forward and I can hold on to this job and I can live up to the expectations that I set for myself and the organization sets for me. And so I'm hoping this is a chance for Bryce to step back and to learn and grow, because one of the hardest things to do is to learn the game and learn how to play against the best athletes in the world on Sunday afternoons with those kind of expectations. So I understand why they did it from an organizational standpoint. I hope it's a good thing for Bryce Young and he can internalize some of the things he's got to work on. And like we're seeing with some other guys, the Sam Darnolds and the Geno Smiths, the hope is take a step back, grow, learn, become a better player, and then be ready for the next opportunity so you can go in and thrive and show people that you belong as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Hey, go do it, Bryce.
Oh, yeah, Bryce.
Go do it, Bryce. Now, he was getting to do all that with all that pressure in front of like 1,500 people, too. Like that Carolina Panthers business. I mean, the whole thing's bad, And I think like Canales having the ability to be able to do this, and also Dan Morgan in his first year as GM being able to make this move, I think that's a big deal with ownership, too, and hopefully they'll be able to just stay on a path.
Yeah.
Just a path for a year or two, and maybe this doesn't just become a cycle of quarterbacks coming and going, because 2 of those guys you talked about, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, they were literally on the Panthers. Baker Mayfield was running rush end on special teams for the Carolina Panthers. Now he's obviously lighting it up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I'm sure the boys will have a couple questions about the quarterbacks that you're liking seeing. Let's talk about you older quarterbacks or ex-NFL quarterbacks chatting about the current state of quarterbacks or the current state of football. I feel like we hear Tom Brady talk about it a lot. I think he was on the Stephen A. Smith show live from the Fanatics Fest. He went into what college has done and how like the transfer portal and NIL and there's no real development in college. Then you get into the NFL and there's seemingly no real development. So these coaches have just made the offenses easier for these quarterbacks so that it isn't just bust, waiting for people to become an NFL-style quarterback. Is that an accurate depiction on the current state of offensive football from all you got, Hall of Famers that played the quarterback position of the past? And when did this start happening, you think? How long has this been taking place?
Yeah, I can't speak to exactly when, but I would say the last decade or so, you see it start to move in this direction. And I think there is some accuracy to it. And I think what you're starting to see starting at the college level is, we're getting greater and greater athletes to play the quarterback position. And so when you get into college, the idea is, man, we want to get this great athlete on the field as soon as possible. And in so much of college, right, there's not nearly as much parity in college. So you can get the best athlete in there. You can simplify the system and then just say, hey, if this isn't open, if we haven't created something wide open, then run around and make a play. And, we're getting these athletes that have the ability to do that because they're the best athlete on the field, in college. But the problem with that is that they're not developing them for the time that comes when they're not the best athlete on the field anymore, or when they're playing at the NFL level, and they still might be the best athlete on the field, the guys like Lamar and Kyler, but you still can't live in that world all the time. You still have to learn how to play the game. And so they're getting further and further in their careers with not truly learning how to play the quarterback position. And what I mean by that is playing inside the pocket, seeing defenses, knowing where their eyes need to be, playing on schedule, all of those things that you just have to be able to do at the NFL level. These great athletes can get away with it. I mean, Kyler Murray had a perfect quarterback rating. So he's really good in a lot of areas, but still has to, work towards, becoming a complete quarterback. But he's such a good athlete that he can still have success at this level.
Got it.
Not very many guys are like that. So these guys that do it in college and now all of a sudden they're in the NFL and it's like, oh, sorry, can't do that anymore. Now what are you going to do? And they start to struggle. We talk about the simplicity of the system. I talk about this all the time. There's this thing in football now called pure progression offenses. So what that means is we're designing a play where your reads stay exactly the same no matter what the coverage is. So whatever, your X receiver's number 1, your Y receiver's number 2, your Z receiver's number 3, your running back's number 4, doesn't matter what the defense does, that's how you're going to progress. So the idea makes sense, right? That, hey, if you give me that play every time, I can plug anybody into it because all they have to do is look at this guy and then look at this guy and look at this guy and look at this guy. So it should be easier. But I'm a proponent that says it actually hurts quarterbacks. Now, if your number 1 receiver is open, it doesn't hurt you. You just throw and complete it. But the process by which it takes you to go from 1 to 2 to 3, the timing that goes into making sure you're on time exactly with 1, 2, and 3, to me, slows down the processing for quarterbacks. Whereas I'm from the school, and Tom Brady, and I think a lot of the old school guys are we played in offenses that were what we called full field reads. In other words, see what the defense is doing, and then if they're doing this, X might be the first read. If they're doing this, Z might be the first read. If they're doing this, the F might be the... So we change our reads based on what we're seeing, and then we become defender read type quarterbacks. Meaning, again, instead of looking at this receiver to see if he's open, I have both 1 and 2 receivers. One's running a corner, one's running a flat. I am reading both of those guys at the same time because I'm reading the defender that's trying to cover both of them. He goes deep, I throw it underneath. He goes short, I throw it over the top. So now, in essence, I'm reading 1 and 2 at the same time. So the whole process is speeding up for me. I'm not going 1, 2, 2. I'm going 1 and 2 at the same time. I'm putting a guy in conflict. The defense is telling me where to throw it as opposed to me trying to figure out if a guy is open or not open and then moving through my progressions. And so they're trying to make it easier. They're trying to make it so they can plug anybody in and play. But these guys, to me, are playing catch up, and they're struggling because they're not getting through things and processing information fast enough. Slows everything down. Now they have to create more. Now they're missing layups. And now it just becomes more and more of a struggle every time out because you're not able to drop back and make that easy throw or make that easy read and allow the guys around you to help you be successful.
I think that...
Does that make sense?
Phenomenal
Is that too
answer.
complicated?
No, phenomenal answer. And I think
Okay.
anytime you talk to any of these old football guys, old school football guys, they go, oh, you got to run a zone beater here. Oh, this is a cover 2 beater here. This is a man beater. This is a cover 0 beater. And it's like being able to tell what those are before the snap is a big deal. And then knowing exactly what the play that you're running, what is going to be open. That's like the masterclass level, right? That is, and nobody's really being tasked with...
Toughest quarterbacks to play.
Yeah.
Once they get that little information, because they just need to know, hey, split safety, single high, okay, is a corner matching a running back out here? Once they motion back in, okay, now go to their best. So it's like it's having another offensive coordinator on the field because they only have so much information from the sideline. Once you break that huddle and actually see the picture as a quarterback or even the defender sometimes, now if you can adjust and get people in their right spots, it's almost impossible. They're almost always going to be right, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, let me add to that. It is that idea of, I always used to say, you try to make the game as simple as possible, as quickly as possible. So what that means is, back to my, example of a corner and a flat. As soon as I realize it's a cover 2 defense, I can get my eyes right to that corner because he's got to cover both of those routes. So that becomes the challenge, right? Understanding what you're seeing, and then how quickly can you get to your eyes to that man in conflict. Now, I will say the caveat here is defenses are more complicated to a degree now than they were when we played. And specifically in the fact that we have so many great athletes at the defensive line position. More teams will pop out defensive linemen to play coverage than they ever did when I played. Like, they had zone dogs, but the zone dogs were, a lot more simplistic when I was playing than they are now. So there's guys popping out that you have to recognize, and that is a hard thing for guys to recognize. So that's the flip side of doing the full field read. I just firmly believe that if you can't do that and you're going to live in the pure progression world, there are going to be games against good defenses where you struggle.
Playoffs.
Because a lot of times pure progression stuff sends guys to different zones.
Playoffs.
Right? So I've got 5 guys and 5 guys are going to 5 different zones. The defense has guys in those zones. I need to put a guy in conflict defensively. So he goes high, I go low. He goes in, I go out. That, to me, is how you have to win playing football, and you obviously have to do it at a great speed.
We always talk about it, and thank you for all this. This was phenomenal. And D. Butch obviously adding it. I just feel like I got much smarter in that entire thing. We always talk about with these quarterbacks, and it's kind of a cop-out for sports media to do this, and we kind of do it, so we do apologize. But you can tell, I think, with some teams in the first half of the season, if they have what it takes to win when it matters. Like, a quarterback is going to have to make, like, a 3rd and 13 throw on a sideline in at some point, if you want to win the Super Bowl, which everybody's trying to do, you're going to have to do that. At some point, you're going to have to check into the right play and know when something's going to happen. There's things that have to happen. Can win games week to week. Can win games, can do well. But whenever push comes to shove, you're going to have to do something that an elite quarterback has always had to do. Patrick Mahomes on the barbershop, I think after he won his first Super Bowl, he said, I just started understanding what the defenses were doing midway through the last year or whatever. So that's something you can certainly develop. But the ones that win all know it. That is how the NFL goes. Now we talk about the defense and understanding that in the offense. Let's go to a different part. AQ has a question for you.
Yeah, Kurt, you were talking a lot about, diagnosing things post-snap, but for me, I know the good quarterbacks I've been with, they're very involved in protections. And you heard Aaron Rodgers talk about it this week, that he sees cover 0 coming, brings another guy in and, gets the protection and throws it to Garrett Wilson down the sidelines. Can you explain a little bit how important it is? Because it drives me crazy as I'm watching film on Monday, Tuesday, when guys don't know when they're protected. And also, whenever
it's the offensive line's fault.
And they always blame it on the offensive line. And there's other things, too, where you're obviously seeing, a Mike Sam blitz coming and they're running a 2-jet protection instead of fixing the protection and going that. Can you explain a little bit about that?
There is no doubt about it. And again, it lends itself to already what I'm talking about with the simplicity of the offenses. AQ, when I played, and I tell young quarterbacks that I work with now, is that the number one thing that I studied was our plays, right? To know where I was going against different coverages, what my answers were, what I was thinking, how I tied everything together. The second most important thing that I studied on a weekly basis was protections. I wanted to know who my offensive line was blocking. I wanted to know where my back was going. I wanted to know, more importantly than anything, who was I responsible for, right? I wanted to know who is that guy that I was responsible for. And then for me, that was something that I was really good at. I wanted built-in quick throws for me, what we call hot throws, right? I wanted those answers. So when that guy came, I knew who it was. Boom, ball is out of my hands, and I'm letting my playmakers make plays for me. It's one thing that I write down more often in my notes every week when watching film than anything else. Have a pressure plan. Have a pressure plan. The quarterbacks have no pressure plan. And I don't think it's emphasized. I don't think they work on it. And lending myself back to the pure progression type plays, they don't necessarily build in hot throws or adjustments on their throws. They basically tell the quarterback, beat the pressure with a throw. Guys, you can't live in the world. You can't, because all it takes is the one guy that you can beat the throw with to be covered, and you're in trouble. You have no answer. So if you don't have built-in understanding of what's going to give me a problem on a play, and okay, how are they going to have, if they bring a Mike Sam blitz, then how are they going to have to cover it? They're going to have to drop the safety down. Where are my answers? They're going to have to bring the backside will popping over. Great. I got a vertical hot. I got a flat hot. I got answers, and I've got to be able to deal the football. And so, that's part A. Is I don't think they talk about it. I don't think they emphasize it. I don't think a lot of quarterbacks really know it. They're just, I'm going to play fast, and I'm going to beat it with a throw. And then there's the second part of it that AQ kind of mentioned there is I played in an offense where I didn't try to solve every problem before the snap. That wasn't my game. I wasn't Peyton Manning, right? I would have loved to have been Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was unbelievable, best we've ever seen.
Yeah, it'd be pretty
at answering questions before the snap, right? Seeing it, getting in the right protection, calling the right play, great. That was not me. When I tried to do that, it slowed me down. I wanted to answer it after the snap. Oh, you brought a Mike Sam, boom, there's my hot, ball's out, you go tackle my guy. And so that was my way of dealing with it. And so that becomes the next piece of the puzzle with these quarterbacks. What are you good at? Are we smart enough as an offense coordinator to build in hots for you? So if you're good at playing after the snap, we give you answers to do that, because that's another thing about the complexity of the defenses. I mean, AQ, you watching,
landline.
Yeah, landline. Sorry, got kids all over the place, things going on.
No, hey, you have a landline, which is awesome. That is.
You FaceTime me in the middle of my massage. You screwed up my workout. Kids everywhere. They're stealing my headphones. Like, there's all kinds of stuff.
Hey, adversity. This is what we want. This is what we want. We want adversity.
Exactly. And so, the other thing is, trying to get people to answer those questions before the snap. Like, if you're watching the Baltimore Ravens from a year ago play defense, where they're walking 8 guys up all over the place on every snap, and you have no idea if they're coming from the left or the right on this particular play, and I'm asking a quarterback, whether he's young or old, hey, solve the problem for me. Get all of the guys that come blocked on this particular play. It's impossible. Even if you have a back scanning, and the back's got to look over here because the Will linebacker's walked up, and then he's got to run over here and try to pick up the Sam linebacker who actually comes, and you expect him to stone that guy so you can hold the ball and throw it down the field. It's impossible. It's impossible stuff. So, to me, you can't do that. So you've got to give these guys answers ahead of time. Not enough teams are doing it. Not enough coaches are doing it. Not enough coaches or quarterbacks understand it. And so it's part of the reason why we have a lot of bad football is, there's so many negative plays happening, when pressure comes, that it's putting the offense behind the 8 ball. A couple weeks ago on my QB Confidential YouTube page, I broke down the conference championship game between the Ravens and the Chiefs. And I'm just going to go to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. You mentioned him earlier. Is that when pressure was brought by the Ravens, they made positive plays. Now, those positive plays weren't all 70-yard touchdowns. Some of them were a 3-yard gain to the back, and he got tackled in the flat. But instead of throwing the ball away, instead of taking a sack because the pressure's coming, we got a positive play, and we're in 2nd and 7. Right? We're in 3rd and 3 instead of 3rd and 10. And those are winning plays in the NFL against pressure, and not enough teams have consistent winning play in those situations.
We need to bring back the hot rod. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's bring back the hot rods. That's what we need back in football.
Hot route.
Bingo. That's what we need to bring back the hot rod.
Yell it out if you have to.
Yeah,
bring it out.
Absolutely do that. And even turn and look at your fullback and say, go, if you need him to go in motion. Justin Herbert this weekend was awesome. So you mentioned something in there about watching film and on the guys every week. These guys are lying, huh? They're not watching the film. There's no way they can watch the film.
I'm not saying guys aren't watching the film. I'm always amazed when somebody can come on a show on Monday and evaluate all these players on a Monday. That's the thing that surprises me. Like I grind the tape, and I got a new schedule here, so I actually got all the tape done by the time I was done with my Monday night call on Monday Night Football. But it took me, all night Sunday and all day Monday to get it done. And when people get on Monday and make some of these evaluations, it drives me crazy. And specifically when it's about a player. And now there could be something where, Pat, you have somebody on your show and you say, hey, we're going to talk about Caleb Williams. And so they can go and watch that tape and evaluate that. But when you're asking them to talk about 7, 8 different guys and to think that they, have the right evaluation, it drives me crazy because people are out there listening to what they say about these players. Talk about scheme all you want. Talk about the fact that, the Saints went in and dominated up front against the Cowboys. Okay, great. But, to talk about a player and say, he was awful, he played terrible because they lost or didn't have a lot of, yards or whatever, that's the thing that bothers me. But also in the tweet, it was more about, if you guys are getting this tape done faster than I am,
please,
I want to know how.
Yeah.
Give me the tools because it takes me forever to break it down. And so it takes long hours. So tell me your routine. Share it with me because I'd love to be more efficient if there's something I'm doing that's not efficient enough.
NFL Plus Premium. NFL Pro. That is where everybody's at right now because it's so easy to find everything. But to your point, it never made sense to me either. I never really understood how they did it. I'm like, so you guys retire from the game, and then you're 3 a.m., 2 a.m. What time are you watching all this film? You're in there doing it. I appreciate the fact that what happened is somebody on TV on a Monday said something about Kurt Warner. And, yeah. And how would you even know that? How you watched all the film? You know all the answers? Is that what took place? Is that potential?
Well, and the biggest thing for me that is simply just when I hear somebody say something and then I watch the film or I've already watched it and I know that's not the case, that's what really irritates me, right? It irritates me for the player because somebody is making a statement that thousands, millions of people
narrative
about the player. What's that?
A narrative.
Right, yeah, they're creating a narrative that I don't think is accurate. So that to me is kind of the first piece of the puzzle that I want to, I want people to stop doing that. If they've watched the tape and have an opinion,
stop it.
I have no problem with that. But it also helps me to know who the credible people are out there. Like when I listen to somebody talk on a Monday and you never hear somebody say, you know what, I haven't watched that tape yet. I'll get back to you on Tuesday. You never hear that. Somebody's always going to give you an answer, but it lets me know who's credible out there, who are the guys that I'll listen to, because I know that they've done the work, and then you hope that the players understand that as well, so they're not listening to all the garbage that people are saying that haven't done the work.
These modern athletes have had to live in this world of hearing from people that they don't know in their palm of their hands, literally since like high school.
Get graded too.
Yeah, and scores and like money now value.
Oh yeah.
Like what your worth is versus somebody else's worth. Like those are tough. Those are all tough things to kind of go through. And it's like these kids seemingly have been through it, but they hear everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wired in.
We have certainly said something about somebody on this show in our shows past where we run into the person and they're like,
I mean, they get asked about it now, Pat. They get asked about it. Like, I've done a couple interviews, and, on my interviews, I did like a weekly interview in Chicago, and I did something on the radio with them. And the next week they brought it up. Hey, we talked to, Coach Waldron, the offensive coordinator, about what you said on the radio. So not only do they hear it, I mean, people will pull it and they'll ask them questions about it directly. Hey, Kurt Warner said this. Explain yourself. Like, he said this about you. Tell me if this is like, so that, again, that's another thing to me why it's important to do the work. So if they're throwing my name out there and asking an offensive coordinator about something I said, I want to be able to back it up. I want to be able to have, credible evidence of why I said what I said, especially if they're going to take it to those people and ask them questions about it.
Yeah, running into them is a whole different ballgame. The internet streets are something, but then whenever you see the person, it's a whole different ballgame. Going to have to handle it. And that is why you need to go to QB Confidential.
That's right, man.
Hey, I didn't know you started this. This is awesome. I literally am just learning this. Now you have a YouTube page, I believe, which is sharing all of your Hall of Fame secrets, I believe is how it is.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? I actually have a website, a coaching and teaching website, which is what you're showing there.
Okay.
So that's QBconfidential.com. And so that's really for people that really want to dive into the game or learn the game, young quarterbacks, old quarterbacks, coaches all over. But I have a lot of fans and analysts that follow it because there's so much information on there. It's ridiculous. But it's my way of coaching because I'm never going to coach. So there's lots of different elements to that. But I also have a YouTube page, QB Confidential, which every week I will actually break down tape of quarterbacks or quarterback play or what I see. So that's obviously free to the public, and that's not. I mean, I do it to coach and to show people and to bring out different teaching techniques, but it's not the curriculum type based thing that you guys just showed. So QBconfidential.com if you want to really learn the game and dive into it and go through a curriculum. QB Confidential on YouTube is where you can find my breakdowns on a weekly basis.
So we got 500 level, QBconfidential.com, and then we got like 200 level YouTube.
Okay.
Got it. Okay, that's a smart way to do it, by the way.
Yeah.
I think that is a smart way to do it because those who are seeking that super high intel will find it in. I feel like we're getting a lot of it right now.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, it feels like we're in very high-level football convos, and we're coming up on a hard out here in a few moments, but there's something happening in New England that I think you will give a great take on, especially because you've already addressed it.
Yeah, Kurt, you're a big fan of the mentorship of quarterbacks. You're pretty outspoken about how it is kind of part of the deal, especially when you draft a guy very early. And last week there was a clip of Jacoby kind of teaching Drake Maye about either a play action or an RPO, and he kind of shows him what it's supposed to look like versus what he was doing. What do you think about the situation up in New England with Drake Maye and Jacoby? And do you think he is one of the guys that's going to benefit greatly from being able to sit for a year versus a lot of these other guys who have just been tossed into the fire right away?
Well, I mean, first of all, you speak to Jacoby Brissett. I know Jacoby a little bit, and he's awesome. Unbelievable individual, going to be a competitor and battle like he has in these first two games for him. But he's going to share everything and help the guy behind him as much as possible. So kudos to him because I know he's trying to help Drake as much as possible. I believe every young quarterback would benefit from sitting, watching, and having a quality veteran in that room. And it's not just about the footwork there that we saw from Jacoby Brissett and teaching Drake Maye, but it's about learning how to be an NFL quarterback, how to handle the media, how to handle your teammates, how to handle your job, how to show up and do the work. I often say there's a lot of guys that don't know what they don't know. And so we can tell young quarterbacks, hey, you've got to study more. Yeah, you got to watch more film. Well, I can log more time watching film, but if I have no idea how it's helping me and no idea what I'm looking for when I'm watching it, who cares? And I think there's a lot of guys out there that come into the league that don't know, right? They want to do it. They want to learn how to work. They want to learn how to take notes. They want to learn, what these pros do to be great, but they don't know how. And so, then you throw them in there and go, well, okay, you don't really know how to play quarterback and you don't really know how to study and you're not really sure what it's like to be an NFL quarterback, but here's the ball, go do all of it and be successful right off the bat. It's impossible. So having a good vet and sitting and learning and taking that expectation off of you, I think is beneficial for every quarterback. I mean, I got to do it with Trent Green. Unbelievable. Patrick Mahomes got to do it with Alex Smith. Unbelievable. Aaron Rodgers got to do it with Brett Favre. George, there's just so many different examples of how that can help you because you learn along the way all the different pieces that go into playing quarterback in the NFL.
We just wanted Brett Favre to know that was a compliment, not something bad. We've been sued before, for that entire thing. And I know he's part of the family. Hey, listen, all good. We have moved past everybody. But nonetheless, Kurt, you are phenomenal, man. I can't thank you enough for making time for us today. I wanted to interrupt your massage time with a FaceTime to tell you we were so thankful you were coming on the show.
I know. My massage therapist was like, "Oh, do I need to move? Are you going to take this call?" I'm like, "No, we're not. We're not going to take it right here." So no problem. You can interrupt my massage anytime. Happy to come on.
Hell yeah.
Keep doing a great job, guys.
We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Kurt Warner.
Yeah, Kurt.
All right, hour two on the other side. We'll have AJ Hawk. We'll have JJ
Wide.
And we'll wrap up all the sports stories. We can't thank you enough. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life, like Dude Wipes. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the commissioner of the NFL. Don't listen to them. No. Roger, good. Shut your mouth. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. You're our commissioner. Don't worry about these bums. From us to you, we'd like to give you a gift that we know you're a big fan of. Ladies and gentlemen, some peanut M&Ms for our commission.
This is just why we're on set?
Yep. You can take these with you. You can take them home.
I might just I got a gift for you.
What? Oh.
You ready?
Yeah, I like that.
With the 222nd pick in the 2009 NFL Draft.
Oh, yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts select Pat McAfee. Hunter, West Virginia.
Hell yeah!
Come on there, baby.
Good pick.
Thank you, Raj. I'll pick him up. Thank you, Raj. I'm not going to pick you up because you got that
That's
back.
all right.
Yeah.
I got it. There's your card, baby. That's real.
That's awesome.
I've been keeping that for, 15 years?
You had it in your back pocket this whole time. This is cool. Thank you for this. So whenever we say that you have to answer to 31 billionaires, how accurate is that?
32. Well, you're not counting Green Bay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Doesn't count.
Big Pop. There's a Green Bay Packers.
I didn't know he did.
Yeah, no, that was.
I don't actually think that way. I actually think I answer to them. I think I answer to the media partners. I think I answer the players. I think I answer to the owners too. The idea for me is to try to keep everyone happy. I always say that my biggest job is not to piss off more than 24 owners in a given day.
How did you know the draft would be awesome if you traveled it, and did you see this happening?
I'd be kidding you if I thought it was going to be as big as it is. We felt like we could be bigger than we were in Radio City. But what happened is Radio City actually put a holiday show in and said, you can't have the draft until June. And that's when we said, we're out of here.
So they kicked you out?
That's when we went on the road.
Well, Taylor Swift, we know.
Well, that's a different kind of influence.
How about, hey, listen, a lot of jokes from
They're booing Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you can't, Bill.
They're idiots.
Yeah, you're going to be a part of an album.
Wow.
Do it. Get a little louder. She is going to cook you. A lot of the internet was saying Roger Goodell was sitting at home through the moon about this.
Well, they thought it was part of the script.
Yes, then he went on to it. There it is. Is there a thought of adding another one, maybe adding another bye week, or are we good at 17 right now?
Well, I think we're good at 17 now, but listen, we're looking at how we continue. I'm not a fan of the preseason. I don't think we need preseason.
Waste of time, right? And energy.
I don't buy it, and I don't think these guys like it either.
Well, they have to spend full price for the tickets for those games.
No, they're actually discounted now. So
Thank you for doing that.
I'd rather replace a preseason game with a regular season any day. That's just picking quality, right? If we got to 18-2, that's not an unreasonable thing. The other thing it does, which I thought you were going to, is that ends up on President's Day weekend, which is a 3-day weekend, which makes the Sunday night, and then you have Monday off. So that's
wow.
Now
we're cooking.
See,
now we're cooking.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. No way!
Yeah, way.
Yeah. Welcome back to our hump. Wow! Uh-oh. It is What Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. Hour 2 starts now.
Football!
Every member of a board just resigned, I guess. Yeah, that is a wild thing. The Talks Table.
What?
The Talks Table is here. Not in the sports world. This is a different world, but it certainly affects me directly.
Yeah, it's not good.
Talks Table's here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Man who played 9 years in the NFL, has a massive brain. Also the host of NFL Matchups on ESPN, ESPN the Ocho, ESPN Plus, and ESPN Overnight. Ladies and gentlemen, Derek J. Butler.
And Deportes.
And on Deportes.
You speak Spanish?
No, I'm 88 days in Duolingo. Got 88 days.
Southpow's fluent, isn't he?
Fluent in about seven languages.
That's what I heard. It was 7, 8 languages. I heard about that at Sao Paulo.
Oh, yeah.
What an absolute living legend. How is he every time you see him? Just
Great.
Brightens mood?
Oh, yeah. Great. He's sent a few books over, actually, for us. Wrote another book. But Sal's awesome. Greg's awesome.
Halfway through it.
He knows ball. Yeah. I saw Connor this morning, actually. But Sal's awesome.
Yeah,
what book is this? I didn't know Sal wrote another book, I heard. So Sal has been an author in the past?
Absolutely.
Oh, what book do we have now from Sal Ballantyne?
I'm still on the first one. He actually opens it up with the Malcolm Butler interception, just talking about how football, that was one of the
it's a sports book.
Improbable.
Sal, one of the legends of ESPN, has been. Another legend has retired today. Woj.
Good run, Woj. Gotta miss you, Woj.
We weren't a big NBA show. We try to cover whenever things happen in a proper fashion.
Yeah.
Very self-aware, I think. Woj obviously broke a lot of news for the history of the NBA. There is another guy that was basically our NBA coverage for our show for the first 4 years of our show existing. Boy, I've never seen the universe set something up more than what is currently happening right now. Congrats to Woj. Set a standard. Absolutely.
Was standard.
Was standard. Was the bar.
Woj bombs.
Woj bombs
Come on.
were the bombs that rattled the NBA. But congratulations on the St. Bonnie's job.
Hell yeah. Go Bonnies.
Now, luckily for ESPN, who is certainly going to need an NBA insider, with the amount of money that they just spent on NBA rights and broadcasts and everything like that, that had a bidding war with TNT involved and Amazon involved and NBC involved. Numbers got real high. So massively invested into the NBA, There's a role that's open that has somebody who's ready to step in it looking so handsome, just so with such a cool hair,
Perfect beard.
perfect beard,
Always.
just always kind of it feels like you're talking to is this the nicest human on earth? Well, don't get that twisted. The guy's got all the info.
He does.
He's got all the plugs.
He does.
That's the insider game, right? The plugs.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Need plugs.
He's got 5 phones, all for the plug.
Yeah.
All for the plug.
Yep.
That is Sham Charania.
Plugs love him.
Number 1 trend in the United States of America right now. Shout out to Sham's friend and family of the program.
Yeah.
Amen.
Chomps.
And to Woj. That was a hell of a run.
Great run.
That was a hell of a run.
Love you,
Great
Woj.
run.
That's not an easy thing. Insider? Yeah, right. You're on your phone all day, every day. Is any conversation real? Who knows?
Yeah.
What is, what isn't? Who's wanting this information out? Why is this person wanting it? That's life. Oh, yeah, by the way, got a text at 3 a.m. Remember, because we're West Coast as well. And if you want to break a school, it'll get broken for someone else.
I'm sure Shams will get it.
And that's your entire job. Just forever. We appreciate your commitment to the game, Woj.
Great work.
Put him in the hall.
Put him in the hall.
Now.
The Naismith.
Yep.
Yeah. Springfield, Mass.
Absolutely. I knew that. This is the state of basketball here in Indiana.
Yeah, well.
Tyrese Halliburton actually walked into Florida, right into Orlando, and talked shit right to Magic fans last night on NXT. And that's why Indiana is going to be hoisting that thing before too long.
You wish, pal.
TJ McConnell just signed for 4 more years.
Yeah, that's
4
awesome.
more years.
Yeah. And I love TJ McConnell like a father. But I don't think he's getting you over the hump, okay? We're talking about championships here. We're talking about the Boston Celtics.
Anyways, shout out to Woj. And whenever the next big move comes for the Indiana Pacers that's going to propel us definitely into winning a championship, Shams will break it. Can't wait for that. 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion. Ladies and gentlemen, AQ Shipley's here.
Baby AQ.
Over in Hammer, Dahn is AP Tone. Tone, college ball is happening. I don't think we've focused on it enough. What are some things that we need to chat about or keep in top of mind?
Some things we need to talk about, Pat, and thank you for that beautiful introduction. This week's college football headlines, we did 6 last week. We might as well do 6 again this week. The big story this week is Arch Manning, and yeah, you see that correctly. The number 1 Texas Longhorns. Texas is fully back after their huge win this last week, and where Quinn Ewers suffered an oblique injury, I believe they were calling it. And Arch came in and had 5 touchdowns, 4 passing. 1 incredible rushing touchdown where he was faster than Tyreek Hill, I believe, last week, which, is the fastest man on earth. So, Arch is coming in, being the number 1 overall recruit coming out of his class and adding another layer to that offense with his legs has just kind of fueled the fire to the Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning talk, Pat.
Yeah, and it's not just that, obviously, and he ran 20-point-whatever miles an hour and was clocked faster than Tyreek Hill. I think there's going to be a lot of conversation around college football about this conversation because Quinn Ewers, Heisman favorite there for a while. Quinn Ewers back healthy. Quinn Ewers balling. Quinn Ewers potentially the first quarterback off the board going into the NFL this year. So good. But there's another quarterback on that team that has the last name of Manning. And if he's going to go for 5 touchdowns every week, which is certainly possible, that is going to be a loud talking point, whether they like it or not. And that is going to be something that Sark is going to have to navigate, obviously. And the Mannings will be completely cool with it all because they've obviously agreed to everything that's happening, even though Arch is making the decisions, but wanted to go to Texas, didn't mind sitting and waiting, didn't mind having a college experience, didn't mind being a normal human, normal teammate. But then he gets on the field and he goes bananas.
Yeah.
And he's the fastest guy on the field.
Crazy.
And he has He's been going to the Manning Passing Academy since he's like 8 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, so like there is certainly some benefits to that. And I heard some people say, would we even be talking about this if his last name wasn't Manning with Quinn Ewers? It's like, no, that's why we're fucking talking about it. Do you know the Manning Passing Academy? Do you know what that is? Like people have gone to the Mannings literally since the beginning of Manning's playing football to like kind of get baptized into like NFL football. Like this is what it is. And you hear Kurt Warner talk about how Peyton Manning was the best at just diagnosing before the snap and everything like that. Arch has been able to utilize that as a phone call literally whenever for his entire life. That is an advantage. That is a bonus.
Certainly.
That most quarterbacks that don't have the last name Manning would ever have. So certainly we'll talk about it because he is a Manning. And I think Arch understands that he's going to be chatted about because he's a Manning, which he has handled wonderfully. His teammates love him. Teammates, it's a really anomaly of a situation in 2024 seemingly because his NIL wherever he went would be whatever the hell he wanted.
Yeah.
Like at this moment.
Huge.
Could you imagine he was quarterback at West Virginia?
Oh my! I couldn't actually.
Yeah, me neither.
They couldn't afford him.
What are you talking about?
Plus,
we couldn't afford them.
They'd win more than 3 straight games.
But we're obviously not the only school that's thinking that. There's schools right now that are in the top 5 of, the AP ranking, and they're like, could you imagine if we had
Notre Dame?
Could you imagine if we had Arch Manning?
Florida State.
And Arch Manning didn't leave.
Nope.
Was cool with it. It's going to be another year. Whatever. I'll continue. Whenever you need me, I'll be ready. Didn't bitch about it. It's like to remain that humble with all the things that are potentially available. And I know he comes from a family that has money. I'm not saying like that entire thing, but still, with the entirety of wanting to play, wanting the relevance, wanting the spotlight, always has had it. Him being cool with like, yeah, I'll just bench. I'll sit on the bench, wait my time. That's why we're talking about it. Because that's a big deal. I think he is a Manning, and how this is all going is a massive ordeal. Because how it could be on the flip side.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people are saying, like, hey, listen, there is no QB controversy here. Okay, when Quinn Ewers comes back, he's going to be the guy, and he will be. But and I know it was UTSA, I get it, but Arch went out there, had 5 touchdowns. Okay, let's look ahead to the Red River. If Quinn Ewers throws a couple, picks.
See, why are you doing this? You're doing exactly what.
I'm just saying what's going to happen. Arch is gonna just start ringing through the rafters.
Didn't that happen with Caleb, right?
Caleb and Rattler.
Yeah, exactly. That was what happened with
It's
Caleb.
the same thing because you've seen it out there. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Not only can this guy play, he was the number 1 recruit. It's a Manning. Okay, this guy's got Peyton, Archie, Cupper, and Eli's blood running through his veins. Like it is what it is.
All right, we'll get to the rest of those conversations at a later time. We appreciate you, Tone. College football is awesome.
Yeah,
pumped for this weekend.
College football is awesome.
Great problem to have, you Texas.
Yes, absolutely, and great problem to manage for Sark.
Absolutely.
Like having to deal with it. Obviously, having 2 great quarterbacks is better than having no great quarterbacks. But there's a lot of personality, culture, questions that come into place there because the locker room's going to have a favorite. So for them not having a favorite, seemingly. Very good. And he's losing his student ID cards.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I think Arch is potentially out there with the boys as well.
Oh, yeah.
Sign in the stands.
I think there is. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who we don't know how he didn't get so distracted at the Ohio State. He was the Ohio State boy from Centerville, Ohio, where he 3 times recorded 31 tackles in one game. He also had a touchdown in all of those. And he averaged punted 44 yards in each one of those games.
Jeez.
This is the face of football. Whoa. Ladies and gentlemen, his dad is not named Cooper Manning. His dad's named fucking Pistol. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
How you doing, bud?
You're right. Hey, think about it, though. It's a great problem to have at Texas. Absolutely great problem to have. Still a bit of an issue, though. Still something you're going to have to manage. All of a sudden, Quinn Ewers, I'm just telling you, like, it is a real deal. Like, if you're Sark, the first 3 and out Quinn Ewers has, whenever that comes, like, it just happens. It sucks that it has to happen because both these guys are awesome, but, hey, it's real.
It is very real. And, AJ, that's it's funny that your first takeaway is, like, not just as an Ohio State person. Obviously, you're going to have your biases towards every other school but OHIO. But, like, also as somebody that's been on a team, it's like, hey, we don't have time, right? We lose one game. That's a whole different ball game for what this season could be. And we've already seen what this guy is. And, Have you heard the crowd when this guy comes on the field?
Man.
It's like
Chris Leak, Tim Tebow situation.
Oh, they split time, didn't they, for that first year?
Had to get him in there. Had to get some packages. And obviously, Arch has a different skill set than Quinn. But I still think it's Quinn's team because Quinn was that
Heisman.
He was that guy even coming out of high school, one of the highest rated players ever coming out of I think South Lake or whatever that school is. And he's been doing his thing. Number 1 pick, was playing well. Your point. You throw a pick 6, you have a 3 and out, you struggle a little bit. We know we got Manning boy on the sideline, but I think it's Quinn's team. It's a good situation right now. Great situation.
We got this Manning boy, and we're not the only ones having this conversation.
Oh no.
Because like the sports books, ESPN Bet is actually Arch Manning is more favored to win the Heisman than Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, come on.
1 week.
And you're trying to tell me it's not a thing. Like, it's a thing.
Yeah, it is certainly a thing. Yeah. There's people out there trying to say it's not going to be, and it's like, I think you are wrong. I think
there's only one quarterback position on the team.
Yeah, and it's a very important position. And it sucks that this is the way human instinct is, but like you see the name Manning and you see quarterback and you see this one might be the most athletic version of these things. It's hard for people that aren't as close followers of the Texas program to not just be like, what are you guys doing?
Wait a minute.
We're down in the third quarter. Why are we down? It's just like, it's stupidity. It's people that don't necessarily know the ins and outs of the program, but it's going to happen.
Without a doubt.
And with these sports books doing this, they're like, it's going to get too loud. Sark's not going to be able to handle it. Arch is going to be the quarterback the rest of the season. And if you look at their schedule, Texas has any SEC first year, could you imagine if they do that? Arch would hold that over his uncle's heads because obviously Peyton at Tennessee, Eli at Ole Miss, Arch Manning takes Texas in their first year in the SEC and just wreck shop. That would be quite a situation in the Manning household.
Yeah, without a doubt. Georgia in a month.
Joining us now, Georgia. Hey, Kentucky gave him one.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it as one of the conversations, survive in advance for Georgia. I think they have too much talent, obviously, and those close ones, they're inevitably going to pull it off at the end. Long season, I think you're going to have some of these, but Kentucky, good team.
Yeah.
Kentucky played them very hard, very well. It's like, is this Georgia getting distracted? Is this Georgia looking past? Is this Kentucky's really good? Is this, what is it? We have no idea until we see the next couple of weeks unfold, but Ohio State, how are you feeling up there? You guys feel very good. A lot of teams feel very good after seeing Georgia have like a hiccup because the thought was that Georgia was just going to steamroll everybody, and this is how this is going to go. I mean, they've won national championships before by like 40 points. Like they have the capability to bury people if they want to. They thought that's what the season was going to be. So you see them have a hiccup with Kentucky. I think it gives a lot of other big teams like hope. Like, all right, okay, yeah, you can have a hiccup here early in this season. Not everybody's going to play their absolute best football all the time. It's like Ohio State had to feel very good seeing Georgia struggle with that. Obviously becoming favorites to win the national championship alongside Georgia. But if like Ohio State struggles one week, it's like the other teams are going to look and be like, okay, it's good to see that Ohio State struggles in this entire thing. Alabama is going to think the same thing after the USF game that they had. Ole Miss has been an absolute wagon.
Yeah.
But they have played like actually nobody. So it's like there's a lot. College football is awesome right now.
It's good though, Pat. It's good to win like that. It's good sometimes to find a way to win when you need to. I think that later on, like if you're Georgia, you don't want to squeak a win out. But you gotta learn how to win in all different types of ways. You don't want to get into the playoffs and all of a sudden you're in a situation. Hey, we've never been down before. We've never had to I've never felt this before. Like they've kind of felt that already. I think it's good as long as you can get a win.
Yeah, you get calloused almost. Throughout the season, you build your team, you build the character.
Don't freak out and don't panic. That's the key.
Yeah, because that team's been in a lot of big situations, but not everybody on this team, this year's team, because it's a new team, has been in these situations. So, you get a close one in the SEC on the road. You get a chance to win it out at the end. You're right. You can lean on that later. Kirby Smart is talking a lot of shit.
Yeah, hammer them. Absolutely hammer Georgia next time they play.
I think that is probably a good play. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who joins us every single week and certainly makes us better, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
When you talk about family in the NFL, this guy still has family in the NFL, being absolutely dominant. And when we see this guy back in the NFL, future first ballot Hall of Famer, Houston Texans Ring of Honor member, ladies and gentlemen, J.J. Watt.
Hey guys, quick question. I heard a hard F-bomb. Are those allowed again? Are we just allowed to?
So we got a little looser than we thought we were going to be, but we still try to stay away as often as we used to be.
I'm just checking the rules. I need to know, what rules are playing by because then I'm in. I'm in. I just want to know.
J.J. Watt's going to say fuck. Is that what I heard? No.
I don't. Is there a green light or what is it? Is it yellow light? What do we got?
For J.J. Watt, the dude, I abide to the fact that you could probably say, whatever you want.
Well, last year I was catching heat. I was catching a lot.
Oh, yeah. You had like 4 straight weeks. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We have gone a little lazy on it. Let's lock it back in.
You might have to lock it back in.
You actually you made us better here, JJ. Let's tighten it back up. Let's tighten it back up. Okay, you're right, JJ. Thank you. Hey, JJ.
Thank you, JJ.
Thank you, JJ. That's why I got this thing here. That's why I got this thing looking over my shoulder, judging me every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
There you go. Lost his base.
Wow.
Yeah, that thing never made it.
Yeah,
none of them.
Never made here, and I think that was potentially a supplier issue.
Mm-hmm.
We had 6 of these things. Not one of them could. The stand made it to the Thunder.
Couldn't handle the power. Just too much power.
Too much thunder.
Hey,
broke straight off the base.
Speaking of power,
Made in America.
All right. I don't think so. Speaking of power, I had Hembo, the incredible stats and analytics guy from ESPN, now working with our program. We appreciate the hell out of Hembo. We had Hembo do some research on your brother, TJ Watt, and I would just like to kind of get your take on him. I should have sent this over to you before the program so you could have had eyes on it, but I think it's kind of self-explanatory. TJ's the only player since sacks became an official stat to win 3 sack titles. 2020, 2021, 2023, 2022, he was injured for a lot of the games, and the way the Steelers played in those games obviously affected it as well. When he plays, they're 71 and 36 and 2. When he doesn't play, they're 1 and 11.
Jesus.
Okay, the points per game, he accounts for a touchdown. That is the inevitable difference when he's on and when he's not on. Does he realize what's all going on? Does he know all this? And
crazy.
Like when he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year and things like that, that is what he's like searching for those things that continue to motivate him. Like, does he realize all this shit is real? Because I didn't know this until Hembo said it over. I'm like, damn, this dude is dominating. And what is it like the defensive player? What motivates this guy? You think?
This graphic right here is why I get so frustrated. And people can say whatever they want or do anything, but this is why I get so frustrated when he doesn't get the recognition that he deserves in that capacity, because I also know extremely well how hard that is to do and how impressive that is, what he's accomplished. So people will be like, oh, yeah, you're biased, it's your brother, all those things. Well, no, just literally look at it. It's unbelievable. It's insane. It's incredible. And like I said, I know how difficult that is to do. So when a guy doesn't get credit for doing something so impressive for so long over such a consistent period of time, it's frustrating. Now for him, what motivates him is just pure football. He just loves football. He loves the game. He loves the work. He loves his teammates. He loves everything about finding a way to be successful on the field, whether it's pass rushing, whether it's dropping back and getting interceptions, TFLs. We literally pass film back and forth every single day and talk about moves and talk about matchups. So it's a blast, man. I love watching him play. I love kind of vicariously living through him. And yeah, I absolutely get frustrated when he doesn't get the recognition he deserves.
He is obviously dominant thus far for the Pittsburgh Steelers. His sack on Bo Nix, they're calling his most vicious.
Yeah, that was
his most ferocious.
I didn't know. I was watching the game like everybody else. I didn't even see it, but there's like a slow-mo back view that shows him actually slap the ankle. First time I thought it was a ghost sack just like everybody else did. But then I saw the little ankle slap and must have just been enough to spook him.
Well, he definitely smacked the calf.
It's a hard smack.
It's a Watt smack.
Yeah, it's not acting like it was some light smack.
It's a TJ swat of the calf. You know what I mean? That's what that was. If he was to rebrand it. You talked about sharing film with him, and we were literally just talking about this situation. That's a benefit. Okay, when your brother played in the NFL and is one of the greatest of all time, being able to share film and knowledge with it, that's a benefit. People were like, we wouldn't be talking about Arch Manning if his last name wasn't Manning. It's like, no shit. It is. That is quite a benefit in the entire brain knowledge of it. You and TJ, we seen you working on golf courses. We see you take your shirts off. You guys sitting in lakes.
Frozen
lakes together. Is he kind of your barometer for how much longer you could still play in the NFL? Because that feels like a tall.
It definitely, yeah. I definitely look at him move and shake, and I run next to him. And I'm like, all right, how far behind am I here? Like how in the weight room are my numbers in the same? So yeah, it's definitely fun to be able to have somebody right next to you to kind of compare yourself to.
Yeah, I don't think that's a fair thing for you because we'd like to see you come back and play. I don't know if you're ever going to be able to catch TJ right now.
All right, calm down.
Yeah,
calm down.
you're
All right,
old,
somebody
bro.
in the family has 20 and a half. Somebody in the family is the only person in history to have 20 sacks twice. The other person doesn't. Somebody in the family has 3 defensive player of the years. The other one doesn't. So let's calm down. Okay, let's reel it back in. On
Walter Payton Man of the Year, nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean,
We're actually having a debate before the show.
Yeah, I mean, this is we actually were.
We did,
This was a full convo before the show. Just want to let you know we were debating your family in conversations how they go before the show. I couldn't even imagine you guys.
How'd the debate go?
You had a couple voters. There was a younger generation.
He'll pass me. There's no question. I mean, there's no question. He is currently on a path to pass me.
All right. Well,
There's no doubt.
Let's talk about some other young bucks that are on a tear. This weekend, a guy had 5 sacks, taken back to 4.5. Their team loses, obviously. We don't know how that has happened. We chatted about that literally on Monday. 4.5 sacks, and then also fake punt completed, and they still lose the game. But this should not be forgotten about. Hutchinson is coming into full form, we're thinking. He's really learning the position, and is this going to be what we see from him all year?
Yeah, guy's a beast. He's a freak. It's awesome to watch. He clearly works on his game. He's got some great techniques, some great tactics. One thing I will say on a couple of these sacks, Baker drops very deep. Obviously, he plays extremely well. He's had a great year so far. They found a way to win this game despite every stat being against them. But it's a defensive lineman's dream, especially an edge rusher, when a quarterback drops back. So at like 7.5 yards, 8 yards, that's a tough spot for us to get to because it's a lot easier for the offensive lineman to set and get in the way. If a quarterback starts dropping back to 9, 10, 11 yards, that's when you're like, oh, this is beautiful because you can just kind of run that hoop and get around the edge. But I know that feeling very well. I'm fortunate to have had it in Detroit one time. I had a sack on the very first play of the game on Thanksgiving in Detroit, and he had 3 sacks in the first quarter. You're sitting on that bench feeling immaculate, just sitting there like, oh, this is great. And then you go out there and you play a little more loose, you play a little more free, and all of a sudden there he ends up with 4.5. I mean, big day for him. Sadly, not a great day for the Lions. Incredible day for the Buccaneers.
Did you see what Aiden Hutchinson does in the offseason? He carries around a gallon of water. Mm-hmm. He golfed a little bit, but it was mostly just working out all day, every day. And the gallon of water. Were you a gallon of water guy?
No, but I drank a gallon of water, but I wasn't. I kind of was grossed out by drinking out of the same gallon all the time. I didn't love it.
How do people do it? Do they strap it to like a belt loop? I don't know how they. Where do they?
Big change, because then it's just easier to lift up.
Because I want to do it, because everybody that does it is in such great shape.
Yeah, have to be that.
Such great shape. It's like, that looks like that's the key. Carrying around.
Is it a new gallon every day, or are you just refilling the same one? And if you're refilling it, are you washing it at all?
How about the big fucking buckets they have? See, you got to slow it down. You got to tighten it up.
There it is. Come on.
I'm trying. That's on us. We got a little loose.
Brady jug.
The bucket. Yeah. Like there's carrying around a bucket of water. What am I doing? Where am I?
No
bong?
one. Yeah,
no
one's doing
bicep.
Oh, they're doing it.
You're an asshole.
People do. Some of them got like lines on them and
keep going. Keep going. You're crushing it. Keep doing it. Only a couple more sips.
Halfway there.
It's true.
You're an asshole.
Go to Walgreens.
It must be a white defensive end thing because Zach Allen had one. He was a big water bottle carrier.
TJ doing it?
Check that 23andMe.
No.
Whoa. Easy. Don't bring that up.
Now is not the time.
I heard about that.
Every member on the board?
That's crazy.
Why? Why would everybody have to leave?
I don't know.
Allegedly, they were telling people they were Italian and they weren't.
Okay. We don't know. Let's move along. We're talking football. It's not. That is a wild game.
It's important.
Let's move along. Hey, everything should be all right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm worried.
It has to. Everything's going to work out. It has to.
They're clones.
What's that?
They're cloning people.
Oh, no. I didn't think of that.
I didn't either. Yeah. We don't need to get into the brainstorming of everything that could happen here. Let's get back to football. Hutchinson and the Lions, that's a shame you guys lost. What a game.
Good game effort.
Good game.
That was a really good game. There's only going to be one Aiden Hutchinson coming around. Let's remember that. Well, until there isn't. We shall see.
Exactly.
AJ has a question for you. JJ? Jeez,
what'd you think of
every
your,
member of the board.
All of them.
How's that happen?
Get out now.
I don't know that world.
Fill me in.
I've never seen that happen before. Has that ever happened?
You got to do your own research. We're not doing research for people. You do your own research. We're not getting it.
There was a high-profile.
Every member of a board of a company that we all know of.
Mass exodus.
Just left. Same time. It's like, anyways, let's move along.
Yeah.
They don't have it.
Why would that happen, JJ? You're a business person.
Generally not good.
Let's move along. Let's move along.
What type of reasons would that
Yeah, what reasons are there why that would happen?
AJ,
speculate for us.
AJ, what's your football question?
The Texans.
We should be doing our own research on all of that. All right, anyways, let's move along.
JJ, what do you think? What do you think about your Houston Texans? The defense obviously heating up Caleb Williams, getting all over him. They look great out there. What do you see when you watch this Texans D? And obviously they're going to make a deep run, it feels like.
You know what I like about them is they have this old school feel to them. They have this old school vibe where you are absolutely going to get smacked in the mouth when you play the Houston Texans. They are going to hit you at every single level. The guys up front are obviously sandwiching the quarterback, Will and Daniil meeting at the quarterback right here. Nothing better than that as defensive lineman. But then second level, guys are hitting. Petrie from the back end coming up and stiffing people. I mean, it's just every single play, it felt like Caleb Williams was getting absolutely demolished. Now, to his credit, popped up every single time. Didn't seem to complain about it, didn't seem to have any issues. Always popped back up, and I respect the hell out of that. But the thing you know when you step into Houston and you play against that defense is you are going to get smoked, and it's a lot of fun to watch as a guy who thoroughly enjoys the violence of a good defense.
There was a phenomenal answer by D'Amico Ryans actually about that exact point because he hit Caleb on the sideline. There was a shot to Caleb that ended up there. D'Amico, speaking about the entire incident after the game, was awesome.
From my perspective, seeing Azeez, he had a big hit on the quarterback, and everyone goes, everyone gets a little antsy when the quarterback gets hit on the sideline, and but if the quarterback stays in, he's going to get hit. And now I think everybody's a little sensitive when there are big hits in the league. Like, we still play a physical game, and you're going to get hit hard if you're playing against us. That's just how we operate here. And what happened after that, Azeez is, of course, he's surrounded by a lot of their players and also some staff, and they are surrounding him. They got people pushing Azeez and so we have to, as the game, we have to be better, right? From protecting all players involved, especially when something happens on the opposite sideline. Just have to be better. And we know, from Azeez's perspective, we, can't throw punches or anything like that. But just overall, we just have to be able to protect players, and it goes both ways. When you got guys surrounding one of our players and ununiformed staff that's surrounding and in that little mix-up as well, that's a problem, and we have to get it fixed.
If I was Azeez and I heard my coach give that answer, I'd be so thankful.
Hell yeah.
I also like the fact that D'Amico's there's a little bit of a hesitancy for people to be reminded that football is a violent sport, and if you're playing us, you're going to get hit hard. That is how it is going to go. That's how we're teaching. And this was the play, obviously, that he was chatting about, and he is surrounded in. To Aziz's credit, people don't know how you're going to act in the situation when it pops up. He's outnumbered 10, 15x on their sideline, and he's still headbutting people. So I think they learned a lot about Azeez. I think
he couldn't have a better way to just slide in. Yeah, he shouldn't have punched the guy, but everything else around it was exactly what you just he definitely shouldn't have punched the guy. But I'm going to make this sound as great as it can possibly sound for my guy, and he nailed it. Perfect answer.
Yeah, so there's people pushing him that aren't players or coaches either. I don't know how they didn't say. I don't know how they get on the sideline, but we need to protect them too in this entire thing because a consultant.
He just came up swinging.
Poor guy.
Came up swinging.
Running back, nothing to do with nothing, just bop.
And I'm in a fight now. Okay, so and he headbutting on the way out. Yeah, the whole fucking team. I got to tighten up there a little bit. Just sounds so much better because that's probably what he was actually saying. But I appreciate the fact that the Houston Houston Texans seemingly have gotten everything right. And the head coaching department is another box that has been checked because D'Amico handles this exactly how every player in the NFL would want their coach to handle it, which is why they'll probably continue to get big name players. They want to come play with C.J. Stroud. They want to come play for D'Amico Ryans. Houston, very popular city, obviously. Great time, great place. It's like Houston, Texas might be a wagon for a little bit. And we all just need to understand and realize that.
Long bit.
No, it's probably a little bit.
Probably a long bit.
Might be a long bit.
Why wouldn't it be very long? They got C.J. Stroud still for a long time.
And the whole division stinks out a lot.
0-2. Everybody else 0-2.
Tough games.
2-0.
Tough games.
I honestly hate to see DeForest Buckner go down, man. I love DeForest. That really sucked to see him going higher.
That's not good for us. Anytime DeForest Buckner has not played, it has not been good for the Indianapolis Colts. There was one game, I think we were taking on the Titans, and obviously, T's and P's to DeForest Buckner. Love the way he plays football and everything like that. Yeah, we appreciate the hell out of DeForest Buckner. I think we were taking on the Titans, and it was a big game for the AFC South Championship, and I picked the Colts, obviously. And then somebody said, hey, DeForest Buckner is out. And it's like, that's the worst team for DeForest Buckner to be out. That is right up the, for Derrick Henry whenever he was there. And Derrick Henry, I think, ran for like 180 yards in the first half or whatever. Like, that's how big of an impact DeForest Buckner has. But with that being said, Ty has a question about the Indianapolis Colts, who will always be the creme de la creme of the AFC South. Okay.
Yeah.
Records might not say that. Okay. Recent stats might not say that.
Division titles won't say that.
Over the last decade might not say that. Wins, losses against Texans, and everybody might not say that.
Jeez.
You're 0-2.
It's a lot.
A lot of season left.
It's so bad.
A lot of season left.
It's so bad.
It's not so bad. It's only going to get better. Anthony Richardson's still a rookie. You remember C.J. Stroud last year? Rookie.
So bad.
You got Shane Steichen.
He was pretty good rookie, possibly the best ever.
Yeah, he was, okay? And Anthony Richardson's going to do the same damn thing. He was on track to do that. First four
Great throw. He had a great throw. Great throw.
He did have a great
throw. He's got cannon, man.
He
can
ran
do it.
two guys over, too. Let's never forget. He ran two guys over as well, scored a touchdown, came out, did his whole thing. He's a rookie, though. There's going to be times where, you run into a buzzsaw of a defense.
Yeah. JJ, just curious, how does that happen when everyone in the world knows that a team, hey, they're going to run it 50 times? Like, what was Goof Bradley telling the defense going into the game? Like, I assume, like I said yesterday, was he thinking, hey, everyone knows they're going to run it 50 times, so maybe they try to trick us and they come out here and throw it 50 times with Malik Willis? Like, how exactly does that happen when seemingly everyone in the United States, in the football world, knew
maybe
exactly,
Ireland too. Ireland.
Yeah, Ireland. Really,
McQuaid knew.
You can say the whole world knew exactly what the Packers were going to do, and then they just went out and did it. They still did it and didn't have much resistance. How does that happen?
There's twofold. There's two different things that can happen in that scenario. Number one, the team can just literally be better. It's like that old school, hey, we're going to run the ball right there. You can't stop us. But then on the other side, there are teams and coaches and philosophies where they just say, hey, we do what we do. Guys, go out there and stop them. We're not going to change our game plan because of what we think they're going to do. This is who we are. I remember that specifically because some offensive lines believe that. They were like, hey, we're going to block how we block. We're not going to change our scheme or anything. We're just going to try and block him normal. And that generally doesn't work out too well for people. And I'm not 100% sure. I haven't watched it closely enough in this game, but I did see 238 rushing yards at halftime for the Green Bay Packers. So whatever the plan was not working.
Okay, I'd say, and still in it, though. One Hail Mary away. So everything you're saying about one good throw from week one, everything, we were still in that all the way to the end. And if that ball travels 7
That's a banner. Still in it. That's a banner.
It wasn't that close.
JJ, I am sick of it.
Oh, here it is.
Okay, look at this 7-yard line, 6-yard line.
Wow.
So if that goes 6 yards further, we catch it probably.
I thought he could throw it like 80 yards.
From his knees.
Well, it's that Lambeau grass. The Lambeau grass is so slick he wasn't able to lock in. Remember, we got the coconut husk in Indianapolis.
True.
So whenever he was doing his little fadeaway, him and the coconut husk.
Yeah, but he slipped on that.
Exactly, because the coconut husk was sending so much power through his body. He flipped the wrist.
They cheating?
I forgot about that. I forgot about the coconut husk turf you guys got.
Good turf.
It's good for the environment, JJ.
Thanks,
Yeah,
JJ.
no, it's great. No, it's great.
Did you see a quick?
I didn't say anything.
You did. It wasn't what you said. It's how you said it.
See, this is how I know that they're a little rattled up there in Indy because you're getting offended by things that aren't even offensive.
You're saying things in an offensive manner, and you know it. And I don't like the way you're playing this little game.
Coconut husk.
We're 0-2, Bob.
Coconut husk.
We're 0-2.
Things are bad.
Okay, we're 0-2. We're panicking.
I've always enjoyed playing.
Don't let the Bears win Sunday.
You guys are really nice.
Don't let the Bears
You guys
win
are a super
Sunday.
nice team, though, Pat, and that matters.
We are. Thank you. We are the nicest team, which means the football
We got Fireplace season around the corner. We got Fireplace season coming up in a couple months.
Couple months. What is this guy's deal? What are you talking about? Remind folks what Fireplace season is, because I think it's
The Colts. You think it's what?
No, go ahead. Please go ahead.
I love it. This is truly one of my favorite
Charming.
things. If you play at Indianapolis in, what does it start? Maybe late November?
Yep.
Definitely December. During pregame, they have just a Yule log fireplace burning on the big screens during the whole warm-up. It is. Yeah. It's like you're sitting like chestnuts roasting on an open fire while you're warming up to just beat the living hell out of human beings. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
They did change the warm up on week 1. There's different music.
Is Meek Mill playing in the background?
No, it's just there is a whole new music. We haven't got to the.
No, it was Bad Boys.
It's Bing Crosby.
All right, it was not. I don't think there was any Bad Boys records.
That'd be cool
because they are going somewhere for a long time.
Maybe
sounds
Rikers.
like
For life.
Sounds like it. Hey, that's wild. It's a wild time to be alive.
Yeah, crazy. Wow. Not to mention if you own a walkie-talkie or a beeper.
I mean, it is wild. It is a wild time.
Hopefully they donate all that KY jelly to the right place, okay?
God, this show's off the rails.
Hey, JJ, this is your fault. We got to tighten up. Remember, we got to tighten up.
Let's talk about fireplaces and courthouse.
That's on you. We talked about making the world better because the coconut husk, right? We talked about romance, with the fireside thing that does run, it can make it do that. And then also we'll just do your own research. There's a whole board that just resigned.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on.
What the hell is going on out here?
I think we're 99 days out.
From that. Yeah, it's only going to heat up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? From our existence.
Yeah.
It's all right. We're lucky to be here. Lucky to be alive.
Hell yeah.
Let's never ever forget that. Speaking of lucky to be alive, D-Butch has a question for you.
Yeah, one of the cool things I know for me, you always part of it going to the league, being a young player, like post-game handshakes. I know when I was a young player, Ed Reed, C. Wood, maybe Ray Lewis, seeing those guys going and shaking their hands after the game was always a cool moment. Caleb Williams, C.J. Stroud had a little moment, little interaction after the game as well. I want to hear your thoughts on that. And then was there any memorable, post-game handshakes or meetup for you as a young J.J. Watt?
Yeah, so I go both ways on this, and this is a tough one for me because I see both sides of this. I mean, we all saw obviously what CJ said to him, trying to impart some wisdom, pass along some things that he learned in his first year, and Caleb taking it maybe not as intently listening as some people would have loved to see. But I'm on both sides of this. Number one, I love that CJ is trying to pass along some info, trying to help a guy out, trying to lift him up after a tough game. But at the same time, I do understand the other side of this with Caleb. I look at it kind of as that Mamba mentality where, we just lost the game. That's kind of where I was at on jersey swaps and things like that. I mean, even when I played against my own brothers, we lost the game, and obviously we want a picture in our uniform, but I wasn't stoked to take the picture. I wasn't excited and smiling and super happy to take the photo. I just think that there is something to that old school mentality where it's, hey, we're not friends out here. This isn't the time to be best buddies and to do all that. So I understand and respect that. I also know that we're in a different generation where jersey swaps are normal, where guys are friends with players all over the league, where, they train together in the off seasons and things like that. But I don't hate if a guy after a game is like, nah, I'm not feeling it, man.
So that's happened to you or no?
Somebody's tried to give me advice after a game?
Yeah, somebody.
No, but guys do try to do jersey swaps. I always told guys, I'm not swapping jerseys on the field. I'll have the equipment guy send it over in the locker room after, but I'm not standing out here taking my shoulder pads off, passing the jersey over and smiling after I just lost the game. That's just not me, personally.
Nobody wanted to really jersey swap with me, obviously. Back in that time, it wasn't. I told Brett Kern, punter for the Titans, I was going to ship him one. Man, I forgot.
Damn.
Come on.
Never too late.
Pass that along.
I think still to this day, it is not. Man.
He love it even more now.
I hope he might be. Brett Kern was a legend. He came over. He's like, I want one of your jerseys. I was like, that was so kind of you. I'm not going to take this one off, but I'll certainly send you one. And then 10 minutes?
He just didn't?
Just forgot. You ever forget? Happened to me.
You don't forget stuff?
Absolutely.
Happened to me.
Absolutely. I think I've probably done it once or twice.
Yeah, you're a bad guy. Okay, sweet. So and AJ's definitely done it.
Mm-hmm.
AJ's
I
done
have
it.
So many times.
I've forgotten a lot. Yeah.
AJ, were you an on-the-field jersey swap? It kind of became a thing in the last 10 years.
Yeah, luckily when I got to Green Bay too, they even said no, we're not doing jersey swaps. The equipment people let us know, and then eventually, as I got older, people did it. I think the one time I ever did it was with Brian Hartline when I was in the Bengals, and we did it after the game, in the tunnel. We traded.
How cool is that? Taking it off, very easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it takes me an hour to get my shoulder pads off with 3 people involved. So yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they do it so efficiently after the game, because that was always difficult for me, and I don't have it glued on like a lot of guys do. So I was even struggling. And then
How did
go ahead. No, go ahead.
How did your guys' teams do it? Every team is different, obviously, with being able to purchase your jerseys. Some teams allow you to purchase as many as you want at a decent price. Other teams say one only. Some charge a crazy amount. How were your guys' teams?
The Colts, I don't remember having the option to just give away jerseys. Now, granted, I'm punter, so let's never forget that. I'm bottom of the totem pole. But I don't think anybody was really doing it on the Colts.
They did it. People were doing it. At one point later on, I know later on in my career, they were like, hey, we're going to start charging. I think it was a ridiculous amount. To be $1,200 or something like that for a jersey. But guys still did. I got one of JJ's teammates, Jonathan Joseph, corner. I respect it. And always after the game, it would be a quick conversation. He would always impart some knowledge, so it had to get a J. Joe jersey. Trell, so certain guys, you're definitely doing it. You just take it. If they take it out of the checker, they do it. All right, whatever, it's worth it.
It does feel like now it happens on a much more regular basis than it used to.
Every game.
Would be cool to have those in baseball.
It's hard after a loss. To do that. I feel.
Plus the visual represent
it's the visual. Is that for your coach? I'm like, man, my coach is going to come sucker punch me if he sees it.
How about the camera? What about when the camera, the drone shot, is going over after games and a team just lost by 30, but one of the players is seeing somebody that they haven't seen in 15 years or whatever, and it's a big smile as the show's ending and good to see you. This conflict's not about football, it's about something completely else, and the fans are just they don't even care.
Happened to Philly.
They don't even care. Yes.
Monday night happened to Philly. I think it was Javon Carter and Jordan Davis, and they were talking to a guy from Georgia who played for the Falcons, and they were all happy, and there were a lot of Philly fans telling them to shut your mouth right now because you just lost the game.
Do we think
that's the interesting part about podcasts today too? A lot of these players, active players that have podcasts, you're doing a podcast on a Monday or Tuesday, the day after a huge loss, man. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, Aaron has come on a couple times after a loss, and it's I'm always intrigued to see how he handles it, because to play this long in the NFL and to want to be a professional athlete this long in the NFL, you have to be incredibly competitive.
Yep.
So when you lose, you hear people, I don't want to say, how would I describe, non-professional athletes, you play a game, this person hates to lose here at the table. And it's all right, yep, everybody hates to lose. Professional athletes, the hate to lose, the drive to win, I don't know how you want to describe it, is very high. And if you're playing 18 years at a high level, incredibly high. So after any loss or failure, you're going to be fucking miserable. But dealing with it, I think, is a big piece of it, how quickly can you get past it? Feels like the modern day guys are able to get past this much quicker.
Yeah, and I'm also not a believer in this, they have to be locked in watching film 24/7. I hate that people are you have to do that all the time. I'm just saying, it is tough to go on a show or something and discuss what just happened, especially if you got spanked. If you have a podcast that goes out every single week and your team just got smoked, that is just a tough thing. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying that's a tough thing. And I understand also when fans are a little bit hey, man, it's not, it's 45 to 10 there.
Last year on New Heights, Travis was giving Jason shit about one of the Eagles' losses, and they had to stop the entire show. Like Jason Kelce just took his headset off, got up and walked off, and they had to like re-record it the next day because of it.
How'd you feel about Jason Kelce in Philly for the first home game post-retirement? I thought he really crushed it.
His dancing's unbelievable. I love his dance.
So
He's legit.
It's phenomenal.
He feels good. His knees look like they feel really good too.
Yeah, I mean, hips.
Unreal.
This was awesome.
Hips, great.
That's great. I could see why Atlanta fans were like, "Hey, is this the local Philly broadcast?" Heavy Philly presence on that broadcast. But I mean, love Jason, love his vibe, love his energy, love his attitude. So I didn't hate it because I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But if I was in Atlanta, I could understand it.
I saw Jimmy Traynor wrote an article, I guess, about Atlanta fans not being happy.
Oh, yeah.
Or Florio might have wrote it. I forget who it was.
Yeah, because he was in there.
I didn't even think about it. Because I'm like, oh, Jason Kelce, this is cool. I'm just like listening to Jason Kelce. I think he's entertaining. I like what he's doing here. They put him on TV, the way they're using him. He's having fun. I like what we're doing here. And then I didn't even think about Falcons fans being like, enough. We are.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, excuse me. Who's going to win this game, first of all? And then also, there's a lot of storylines on our team we could potentially be talking into. Because when you get one of those primetime games, it tells all the stories of your team. That's why, like, being primetime is a big deal. Like, the entire world is getting introduced to it. Arthur Blank's like, did anybody even know the Falcons were playing? Go Birds are insane. Like, it is, I can see how they feel that way.
So he was in the booth, obviously, for that third quarter.
Yeah.
The Eagles gave up a sack on the stunt. And, like, all I wanted to hear in that moment was, all right, Jason, you were there last year. Tell us about it. Like, I wanted them to let him tell us about it. And I didn't get to hear that because that, to me, would have been a really cool moment. They just gave up a sack. He was on this line last year. Talk us through it. That was one thing I was looking
this
for.
guy, Monday morning quarterback here right now. Monday, that's what we just heard. Joe and Troy got it.
I'm a fan of the game. I love, like Jason and I had it back and forth last week on Twitter talking about offensive line play and defensive line play. I love hearing his actual thoughts. He's a very, very articulate, smart man, especially at that space.
Speaking of offensive lines, let's go to host of the OG in the Trenches segment, AQ Shipley, who has a question for you.
Yeah, JJ, talk a little bit about the local team, the Arizona Cardinals. I saw your boy, the Barbarian, Dennis Gardeck, had a big game.
Yep.
I thought the offense looked awesome. I thought they looked great. And my question to you is, do you think the defense can keep up with the offense in Arizona, and are they contenders?
I mean, I think you watched that week one game in Buffalo a little bit differently, obviously, after watching game two. I mean, for the Bills, because the Cardinals played them very well. Obviously started out very strong, couldn't hold it off at the end, but they played very well against clearly what looks like one of the better teams in the NFL. And then this week, they just go out there and put on an incredible performance. Kyler, perfect passer rating, running, throwing. Marvin Harrison, week one, everybody's saying he's slow, he can't run routes, he can't do this. Oh, no, because he only had 4 yards. Well, this week shut them all up pretty quickly, so really enjoyed seeing that.
Stop going, no. It was just first quarter. What happened the rest of the game? You know, you said he had a couple drops. He felt bad about that, but also 140 yards in the first quarter, 2 touchdowns, I guess. Can we get this guy the ball?
Is that okay, or is that's good?
No,
High score, is that good? Did I break it?
I also love the fact that Kyler is so good at football.
Filthy.
We're seeing feels like a brand new. This kind of sounds weird to say because he's been around, obviously, but it feels like a brand new Kyler this year. And I think a lot of it has to do with that head coach empowering him. Do you think so too, JJ? You think like culture over there in Arizona is at a spot where it's like sustained success can happen?
I think he does feel very loose and free right now. I mean, it's cool for me to see him coming out of his shell even more publicly. Like he has this little video shows that he does during the week, and it's fun to watch him, the off-season preparation. This week he put one out on his preparation in the game last week. So it's fun for me to see him come out of that shell and feel completely comfortable showing that side of himself to the world, because I do think there's a lot of people who just assume that they know Kyler and they assume they know what he's like based off of what the media and everybody says. And I like that he's now just saying, no, this is who I am. You guys want to talk about me? Well, I'll just show you. This is who I am. That's cool.
That video game clause was so rude.
Yeah, come on.
What the film? You remember?
Film watching.
Killed him.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, that was tough.
That was one of first of its kind. I mean, it was definitely going to be a conversation. Whoever thought it wasn't going to be brought up is certainly something. And you know that'll be something I think some people will always think about with Kyler. But it's like you watch him this year, and you watch what the type of building they're running over there with Gannon. It's like it might be the time Kyler locks in completely and becomes everything that we thought he could be physically.
Yeah, he'll still be judged off what he does late in the, like all quarterbacks. So what he does late in the season, what he does in the playoffs, because the Cardinals and Kyler in particular have had great starts before they've started off, 10-1 or whatever, and then late in the season, once you kind of have a book on him, you start changing some things up. But I like what he's doing. Pretty much his first full year with his what's the new OC, Drew?
Petzing.
Yeah, so him in his offense, a lot more 12, 13 personnel, playing a little bit more from the pocket, moving the pocket. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Kyler and that defense, too. Defense flies around.
Yeah, I enjoy
defense. Everybody said before the year that they weren't. Where's their pass rush? They lost the one to injury. People are saying, where's the pass rush? Dennis Gardeck and Zaven Collins off the edge. I believe the Cardinals are number 2 or number 3 in sacks in the league. So.
Is that one of those teams that you would play for? You live there, right?
Yeah.
Backyard.
Lost the guy.
Huh?
You take the bus?
Wow. We turning down for what?
I got to sit in the pool with my son at halftime of the Sunday night game. We were watching Texans play, popped in the pool at halftime, came back out, watched the second half. I mean, it's pretty nice, man.
It is pretty nice. You know what else would be? Going back to the Cardinals win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, we'll continue on ESPN Plus, YouTube, and TikTok Live. J.J. Watt will continue to inform us on all of the good stuff. Do your own research. There's a lot taking place. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Nailed it. Right on the screws.
Boom.
Right on the screws.
Bang.
Wop.
Love the countdown on the screen. Big help.
It is, right? Shout out to Matt Garrett.
Yep, shout out.
That's Matt Garrett. Thank you, Matt Garrett.
Let's go, Red.
Let's go, Red. Let's go, Red. He said it to me Michigan game day meeting morning. I walked in. He goes, your conversations end. And then I don't know where they are. And I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, your show ends, and I don't know where the fuck the conversation goes. And it's still happening. Can you just tell people where it's going? I'm like, yeah, we certainly can. He goes, countdown right there. Like, got it. Thank you, Red.
Yep.
Thank you, Red.
Best in business.
He says it's not my job to produce your show, but I would like to know where the conversation with J.J. Watt's going so I could maybe continue watching. I'm like, oh, smart. I don't even think about the TV people. And he's like, see? Huh? I'm like, thank you, Red. So
last year, there were times where I literally forgot we were still on the air after we went off ESPN. I just assumed we were just having a conversation.
That's on you.
Yeah, I agree.
That is
definitely on me.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah.
I agree.
I would have felt terrible there. Could you imagine JJ being like, listen to this bullshit TJ said.
Yeah.
Be a fool. Go out there and do it. Tomlin had another phenomenal quote.
Oh, such a good one.
Just an absolutely phenomenal Tomlin. And does he have that stored away, waiting for that question to come? Or does he think about it while he's giving the first part of his answer? While he's doing the first part, is he trying to think of a phenomenal metaphor that is just going to hit home that nobody has ever squeezed into said conversation or bucket? He's so good. He is so good.
I want to know the exact same thing. I want to know, does he just have a Rolodex of them that if the situation pops up, he pulls from? Or does he have it where he's like, all right, I'm going to find a way to get this one in today because it's a good one? It's incredible how many of them he has. And like you said, how many of them are not ones. We all know the ones that have been said 100 times before. I haven't heard this one before.
I've heard the concept. I've heard the concept of
right.
You've heard the concept. But to answer an actual football question, for the perfect situation, this is a perfect situation to utilize this. Just a hilarious quote, and he keeps a straight face through it all. Always just keeps a straight face through absolutely everything. Use a word that you've never heard of before, and then drop it into such a precise way, and he never flubs.
No, never.
He's one of the greatest speakers, I think.
He talks so matter-of-factly, and he always talks the same way literally all the time. Whether you're in a one-on-one personal conversation, whether he's talking to a group, whether he's doing an interview, whether he's speaking to the team, his voice, volume, and cadence is always the same. I've never seen anything like it.
You never get caught not being you, if you're always you. Feels like Tomlin is certainly that. So are you, JJ. Captain America.
That's right.
Speaking of America, we call it soccer. And how's your soccer team doing? We good?
We're doing great. We had a great win last week against Leeds. leads the way, as we discussed. Big 1-0 win. So it was huge for us. They were a very good team. Glad to win on the road.
His ass.
1-0.
And I'm headed over this weekend, so I'll be there on Saturday for the match. We got a board meeting Friday, match Saturday against Portsmouth. And then I'll be on CBS in New York on Sunday.
Gotta beat Portsmouth. Gotta beat Portsmouth, brother. They're bottom of the table.
Yeah, don't worry. The board is all intact. Board is
Hey, what if we lose to Portsmouth, though? They're bottom of the table of the second table.
Is Tyler going?
Kids table.
We're intact.
No, there's like a. Remember, there's like six, wasn't Wrexham like 5 deep at one point?
Wrexham and Birmingham just played this last weekend. Ryan Reynolds and Rob's team against Tom's team. Tom won. Birmingham won.
They don't even get
3-1.
I saw you comment on a post about that. Do you guys have like a We Own Soccer Teams in England text message group or anything like that?
Yeah, I was actually going to go over there with Rob, but since I'm already going over on Thursday, I wasn't going to pop back and forth. We've been a whole lot on the body, so he was very gracious and offered me a ride over there.
What type of plane? What type of plane? You got to have a big one to get over.
Well, yeah, it was one that's capable. It was a capable one. I'll say that.
Yeah, which there's different levels of capability, though. I think we
it's near the top of capability levels for traveling around the globe. I will say.
Oh, terrible on the body, huh? Wow. Yeah, okay. That's a tough one.
From Arizona.
That is a tough one to go ahead and lay down in that bed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, make sure.
So that Always Sunny money is pretty good, huh?
Yeah, it is still running, isn't it?
Yeah.
That Sunny money's always running pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, still going strong.
And now
And
Wrexham's good.
Syndicated as well.
Yeah, Wrexham's good. Wrexham's
When do you
business
know when
is
you get
good.
bumped up, though?
The end of the year. Top 3 go
Like, when is
or
that?
Top 2.
When is the end of the year? That's a good
May.
question.
Great question.
May.
May.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like baseball. I didn't know we were have May.
38 games, brother. 38 games.
46 in the championship.
Top 2 out of how many?
Oh my God, it's
Yeah. So there's 20 teams. You got top 2 automatically go up. 3 through 6 have a playoff to see who the third team to go up is.
That's neat.
3 teams total go up.
That is neat.
I like that.
I like the playoffs.
May is
It's
so
electric.
far.
Yeah.
May.
So anything can happen.
Did we follow the entire year last year with Burnley? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This
Yeah, it was a rough one. This one's going to be a little more fun.
And then
what?
Go up.
And then we win the fucking Champions League next year.
That's right.
Yeah.
Liverpool.
Well, you gotta-
I like
Big
that.
one, right?
I like that.
that'd be in
That's
2
the
years.
big one.
Yeah, you're not
2
impossible
years.
for him to be in the Champions League next year, I
Yeah.
don't think.
Yeah.
No, that's
2
physically
years.
impossible.
Yeah.
Win the
Well, whatever. You know what I fucking meant. Next time we're in the Champions League.
Yeah, I love it. I'm with you.
Have they ever been in the Champions League?
No.
No, we've been in the Europa League. We have been in the
What
Europa
is this
which
league?
Second. Yeah, we could do a whole show on.
Europa
we could do a
League's
whole
pretty
show on
impressive
it.
to get to be fair.
Yeah,
I know.
certainly.
We finished 7th in the Premier League that year. It was pretty nice.
That's when Dyche was at the wheel.
That's the top.
Who?
Yeah.
Sean Dyche was at the wheel. There's a pub named after him.
Dyche is an
Burnley.
excellent
You got
fucking
him.
gaffer.
What's that,
There's
dude?
rumors he
Yeah,
might be
AJ
getting
got
the
it.
sack by Everton.
Finally got it figured out.
There's rumors. I mean, I don't know if they're substantiated or not, but Jay-Z is rumored to be interested in Everton.
I don't know. dude.
Oh, did I go into that?
Future first ballot Hall of Famer, JJ Watt.
Good guy.
What happened with
What's wrong?
Jay-Z?
Good guy.
What's wrong?
I think his music as a whole, everything's
He's good.
Great, yeah. NFL.
Everybody's good.
Man, everything's great.
Not everything.
All right, if this allegedly, there's a lot not. Okay, if this ball goes in, it's all going to get figured out.
Okay.
Big shot.
I don't know if we want it to all get
Big shot.
I'd like it to.
I think we need it to.
Why?
I'd like some answers. I'd
Pull
like
back the veil, damn it.
Oh no, he didn't make it.
Oh.
This guy sucks. I'm sorry.
Good shot.
I'm so sorry.
It's football season.
Wow.
It's okay.
Damn
It's
it.
gonna be
So
okay.
sorry.
It's gonna be okay. This sucks.
I am so sorry.
Sometimes you need to tear it all down.
It sucks.
Build back up.
There's 14 footballs down there.
You screwed us.
So we don't want to be in the Champions League?
You
We
screwed us.
we do, but I fear that the Champions League since last season,
If the Champions League gets Burnley in it, they're gonna blow up the Champions League.
which I'm worried about. You know, future's
premier.
bright. That's right. Future's bright everywhere. Everything's gonna work itself out. Even though that ball didn't go in, that doesn't mean that.
Good.
Burnley's going to win the Champions League. You're right. 2 years from now.
The championship this year.
The championship this year, then the Premier League next year, and then it's because they win that they then are
They win
automatically
the
entered into the Champions League, which is
Wait, there's 3 leagues. I thought there's 2 leagues. We're 3 leagues down. Are you serious?
Champions League is an international league that is the greatest domestic teams. So in the highest leagues,
top 4 from
in
each.
all of the countries, top 4 from each of those leagues go into the Champions League. That is considered the best of the best of the best there.
Right.
And whenever it comes like club play.
Mm-hmm.
The Premier League is the league in England that the top 4 go into the Champions League, and also one league above Championship League, which is where Burnley is now because they were so bad in the Premier League last year. They got relegated down to this league. A lot of people, and then the top 3 in this league each year replace the bottom 3 in this league here. You see?
In the Premier League.
Yes. Yep. So then a lot of people in America are calling for this for a lot of different sports.
It's good. I like it. I do like that setup. I get it.
Yeah, where it's like
where's the MLS?
Bingo. But
MLS stinks.
The issue is
Easy.
the business of these two sides vastly different. The amount of money you make whenever you're up here in the Premier League and down here in Championship vastly different. So to get like American companies to agree to do this, that in it not being in place for like the last 100 years, I think, in England is going to be. I think that's a difficult sign up.
I think it's it's
oh,
tough
so
sell.
we potentially lose all of our money if we just end up in the bottom 3 of this league. Okay, yeah, we're not going to.
No thanks.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. It makes everything a little bit more like when Burnley was fighting for their life last year during the Premier League. It's like, no, they're going to get relegated. That's like millions and millions of dollars. Like it actually affects like
players. The player salary goes way down.
Yeah, and motivation.
Yeah.
Incentive to win though.
Lose your.
Do
best
some teams
players.
go down for like 20 years? Have some teams gone down and never got back up?
I assume.
There's a legendary team in France that just they folded. They were done. They used to win the championship all the time. They are done.
The big one.
But then there's stories of like local club, the big one. Then there's stories of like local club teams like climbing through the leagues.
That's like Wrexham.
That's Wrexham.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's why I think Wrexham is being so beloved.
You like Monday qualify into a game, and then all of a sudden you keep winning, and you boom. Here we go.
Like League 6, I think. Then there's like League 5.
Yeah, that's the FA Cup has all 7 leagues in England. So like you'll see these teams go on like these legendary runs and end up playing in like a first division Premier League stadium, and it's just electric.
It is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is actually a crazy way to like design your leagues.
Ted Lasso, they actually do kind of go into how it all is set up because they get relegated. Then they're in that FA Cup thing as a tier 2 team.
They're continuing Ted Lasso.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Bringing it back, season 4.
I thought they had a good finale.
Wow.
Great finale.
Incredible finale.
Great wrap
Yeah.
up, but there's more story to tell. I think we all saw that.
Yeah, too many strings left there.
More story. I agree. All right. More story to tell.
Yeah.
I watched episode 3 of Bad Monkeys. Or Bad Monkey.
Dude. Great show.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
Yes, it gets better.
That is a...
Oh, yeah.
Wait, a new one today, right? And it was Wednesday. Is there 4 or 5?
I think I was a week or 2 behind.
I think this is 6 or 7 today.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm 3 weeks behind. Okay, good. Got it. Football season.
A couple
Everything's
weeks
flying by. But I watched episode 3. What a curveball. Mm-hmm. I did not... That one really made... Whoa.
There's another one coming.
Really?
Another big curveball coming. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Vince Vaughn, too, throwing...
Yeah. Painting it.
It's
a great show, seriously. Unfortunately, I started the show Shogun.
They won all the awards.
They won all the awards.
16 Emmys, I think.
Yeah. So I was like, let me give it a run. It is so fucking sick.
Tuesday nights.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what me and the wife were chatting about last night. Put the baby to bed. What are we gonna watch? It was like, this is the night.
Yeah.
We can actually, saw Ryan Seacrest do his Wheel of Fortune stuff.
He's pretty good. I like him.
Not bad. He's a little bit more condescending than Pat Sajak ever was. He said, actually, don't mess this up to somebody, which I respect.
Okay.
I read that they don't love him. I read that he's trying to figure it out.
Well,
is that Sajak?
The internet.
Anybody replacing somebody that had the job for 30 years.
I like him.
That's going to be tough. I enjoyed him saying, don't screw it up. Because it had all the letters.
Do him and Vanna get along, though? That's the main thing. Him and Vanna got to get along.
They did the joke at the end thing, the gimmick, before the thing. They did that again. Ryan Seacrest told a joke. She had a add-on laugh. We'll see you tomorrow. So
okay.
Yeah, I don't think they need to actually get along. They speak twice a show.
Yeah, but there at the beginning, you could tell. When they walk out, are they still walking out? I didn't see the beginning. I'm a big Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, they're still walking out.
I'm a big Wheel of Fortune
Me
guy.
too.
I'm a firm believer that you need a Wheel of Fortune person and a Jeopardy person at the table whenever you're having a discussion about things that are like of importance. You know, Jeopardy people different than Wheel of Fortune people. Now, there are certainly the elite crew that are into both, but Jeopardy I watch, boy, people are so much smarter than me. Some of those things that they're pulling answers from, what the fuck are we talking about?
Crazy.
But I watch every night, and if I get like 5, 6 right, I'm a genius. I'm going to bed genius.
Did they get a heads up on the categories?
Yeah, I watched White Men Can't Jump, remember? And she ended up with like words with Q's or something like that. It was like her, her special.
They give him a big book of possible, like maybe they give him, 150 topics and say it could be any of these.
Yeah, I don't know because
some of that shit is
wild.
I think they're doing a sports one, like a sports Jeopardy, strictly sports.
We got to ask Holzhauer.
Greeny will win that.
Aaron went on Jeopardy. What did he say?
He did. It's Celebrity Jeopardy. They had the sports Jeopardy. Remember, Peyton was doing it for a little bit, and then Dan Patrick used to host one too. I hate to say it, Jeopardy's gone down the pooper. They haven't really been able to replace.
What?
It's just without Trebek.
Who's the host?
Listen, I love Ken Jennings.
And that lady from
Maye Bollock or what? I have no interest in watching Jeopardy anymore. It sucks because I used to watch it every single day.
So I like trivia shows.
Me too.
I like Craig Ferguson hosted a trivia show. It was like The Informant or The Rat or something like that. It was a good trivia show. What I've found is I'll watch a trivia show, and I think I don't know a lot of the answers. I wonder if the people that are watching trivia shows normally know the answers, or if they normally are dumb like me and not know a lot of the answers. Because I get like a dopamine rush.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
If I beat one of the Jeopardy people, like fucking nailed it. Didn't even read that book. And I just pulled that character out. But then the rest of the show, I'm just question mark Zach Galifianakis the entire time. I got no idea what the fuck's going on. It's a good show.
Need a dominant competitor again too. That certainly helps when you got a guy like Holzhauer or Ken Jennings, where they're beating people by like $60,000. Like that's awesome.
Are they double Jeopardying, or are they Holzhauer's move?
Putting it all in?
Yeah, what is that called?
True Daily Double?
Yeah, Daily Double. There it is. Daily Double is that
electric?
Holzhauer was going all in.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that hunt for it now.
Yeah,
Instead of just going right down the category, they bounce around, try and find it.
Holzhauer just came in and just made more money than anybody so quick.
Well, and then he was the one who he would have a commanding lead, and he'd still be wagering like $40,000 in Final Jeopardy. So he was like, people typically don't, if you have a massive lead like that, you're wagering $0, or they do like the $1.48, or whatever sentimental bullshit, it's leading to. But he was trying to rack that thing up big time.
Sentimental, you're talking like $8.7 million a year for Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, like something like that, or I told my fiance that I'd wager $2.66 if I got to this point. People do that crap all the time, but he was like, nah, fuck it, I'm up by $40,000. Okay, I'm gonna wager $35,000 right here.
The interviews are always good. The little talk after the first round, those are always home runs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little give and take.
Still with Ken?
Those are all of them so good. All of them.
Was there any?
Go ahead, AJ.
Was there any trivia on that Plug the Hole show?
Hole in the wall.
Plug the Hole.
That's a different show you like to watch.
I don't know what
the one where you got to discombobulate your body.
It's a different show you like, huh?
Plug the Hole, huh?
Where's that at?
Where's that on?
SOAQ. I don't know if he knows about that, but that
he's
you got to be athletic.
Gonna Google that later.
I've probably seen it. Felt too much menthol.
A lot of lube going back into the society.
That's right.
For these game shows that are taking place. But you're talking about Hole in the Wall. You're talking about Hole in the Wall. This is one of the great shows of all time. And these producers that pieced this one together are the rudest people on earth. The show no longer exists, but
almost.
The goal is to,
she got through it.
Everybody there knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Everybody knew.
Is that a lifeguard in there? Is that a lifeguard in the little baby pool?
Of course, you got water more than a teaspoon. Obviously, there's a chance for drowning. So, of course, that's going to happen. But this is the object.
You got it.
Oh, okay. That's the. She falls in, no, she loses inevitably.
Yeah.
Had to stay up on the play area. Yeah, there's a tag team. Yep, this one's going to be tough, I think.
Oh, come on now. What are we going to do? We got to levitate?
This one's going to be tough.
You got to jump through.
I got to watch the show.
Yeah, this is the original, obviously.
What are we doing?
I think they make it through.
You got to figure it out.
They did not make it. They did not make
show
it.
is awesome.
It is the greatest. Yeah, this show needs to be back on television. Stat, or just back in the world. Stat, that was my all-time favorite. Minute to Win It also. That was another fantastic game. Minute to Win It took over there for a while. I'm a big game show fan.
Price is Right still going?
I believe Drew is hosting that. It's still in the afternoon. They got Price is Right primetime too, I think.
Really? They wanted Kirk. Remember, they wanted Kirk to do that back in the day.
Herb Street?
When old Barker was taking, like, Kirk was definitely a guy. I think they went after him. He said no.
Kirk Herb Street, Price is Right. He said
I absolutely remember that whole situation.
Please,
he
yes,
was a hot commodity.
We are calling it right now.
It's every morning in the Patriots facility. So my first 2 years watched every morning in the meal room.
Yeah, Price is Right got everybody through a lot of days.
Everybody's guessing.
Doing that.
$1, what a play. $2, what a better play.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody would drop a $1 with more people to guess after them. Obviously, you're asking for it.
Yep.
But anytime somebody would showcase somebody's stupidity, I did appreciate. Like they'll go, 570, and then the last person, 571. Just like a complete cuck. You got no chance of winning. You only got 4 opportunities up here, and this one, gone. Just completely over. I did enjoy the strategy behind Price is Right. We were trying to call Kirk Herbstreit to see if that rumor that AJ
Look it up.
No answer. What's that all about?
Have you seen the documentary about the guy who like gamed the Price is Right in like the early 90s maybe?
Yep.
It is incredible where he just like studied like consumer magazines and went up there and knew the exact retail price.
Okay, so I didn't know that story.
It's awesome.
I knew of the big money, no whammies guy that
Yep.
studied the thing and then just broke them completely.
Yep.
And they were just stuck.
Yeah.
Everybody there knew that he had it figured out.
Yep.
We just got to watch this guy win the maximum amount of money every single turn and hope that we can survive one night of this.
Yeah.
And he did. Did you see that?
Yes. Yeah,
What was
yeah,
that? What is the name of that show? Big Money, No Whammies? Stop. Was it Whammy? I forget what it was. It was
But he knew the exact.
So this thing would bounce around a screen.
Yeah.
Which are all pre-recorded screens.
Press your luck.
Pressure Luck. Okay, name of the show, Pressure Luck. And then you would hit it, and if you got a whammy or whatever, it would do it. It took all your money. But then there was like max prize too. And it would land on it like once every like maybe 4 times through. And this guy just went to his basement and just studied the pattern or whatever, got on the show, and then executed fucking perfectly. Just boom, Steph Currying. So like before they even showcase what it is or even get to it, he hits it and goes, yeah, and starts like celebrating and full panic, obviously.
Legend.
Right? What a play. Anybody that can take advantage of those types of things, more power to you.
I'm pretty sure they're making a movie about that with Paul Walter Hauser. I believe it comes out here very soon.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
No way.
That is going to be an amazing movie. What a story. Game shows are the greatest.
Price is Right guy thing is like impressive too.
Yeah, the amount of it.
To the sense, it was crazy.
Yeah, going up for the showcase showdown and just fucking hitting it right on the head.
What a play.
And being within whatever, so winning both showcases. Like,
So is it California? I always wondered. So are they doing California prices or Pittsburgh prices?
That's a good question.
Great question.
You know?
Big difference out west.
Bingo. That's
Big difference.
So I always wondered.
And you're taxed in California. I'm sure you're taxed in California for everything you get because I know there's people that have won the prizes and they can't take them because they get an $80,000 tax bill.
Yeah, the cars are normally turned into a cash value that is whatever it is, I think. I don't think a lot of people take those cars out of there, which is a bummer. That is a bummer. Yeah. Would you rather have this Kia van or do you want the equivalent of $32,000? I'll take the $32,000.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
All prices are the suggested retail price by the manufacturer on the U.S. West Coast. Okay, so we got our answer.
Oh, it's good to know.
If you ever get on Prices Right,
West Coast.
tack up a little bit.
Yeah, know the prices over there.
All right, let's get to a break. On the other side, we got In the Trenches, the OG one.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Thanks, bro.
This one's going to be the best one yet.
Easy.
I think so.
Yeah, I hope so.
Feel good about it.
Someone
Yeah, you're right.
Needs to be
people at the heels right
nipping.
Oh, my God.
Need your fastball.
Uh-oh.
Holy shit.
Here we go.
Somebody get some smelling salts out of this guy. Wake him up.
Whoa.
That looked like cocaine.
It looked different.
Don't be doing that. Don't be doing that. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, you go back.
Nah.
Hey, whatever it takes.
I guess, man.
O-line
Is it more of this one? for that one.
That's the
Yeah.
one. That's the one I'm looking for.
Depends if he's
Don't
playing.
even need it.
No.
Playing in Miami in 2011. That's a good point.
He's still spinning it.
Yep. He's still got his fastball.
You can spin it.
Yep.
I mean, what a good coach.
Yeah.
He has to be the greatest of all. Let's get to a break.
My favorite behind Bill.
Yeah.
Thank you for the way you addressed my favorite coach at the moment, Coach Shane Steichen.
Absolutely.
What was the other guy's name? Goof?
Oh, Goof Bradley?
Goof
That was
is a good
tough.
guy. Gus is a good guy.
He said they came out a little slow.
Goose stinks.
Okay.
He does not.
He does, dude. He's been bad for a long time.
Did you hear Zaire and the boys? They said it's on them.
It's on the players
Damn
at
right.
a certain point.
Take ownership.
That's right.
Sometimes the game just passes you by as a coach or a player.
Gumps.
So it happens, dude.
What's this all
Happened
about?
to Chan Gailey. He was a great coach at one time. Might be happening to Vic Fangio in Philadelphia right now. We don't know.
Don't be dancing on Vic Fangio's grave because he didn't work out in Miami.
It's not working out in Philly either, brother.
Trade Devin
Bryce
White to
Huff's
New
got
England.
1 sack, $37 million guaranteed.
Vic's going to go to the Chargers next so he can be the three-peat of Darius's favorite teams.
Jeez.
What the hell?
This guy's ready. He's ready for today.
That's fair.
He's ready.
Good shot.
He's ready.
He just took the.
He
Can't
did.
wait. Can't
Yep.
waver in the trenches.
Can't wait.
Can't wait.
Here we go.
Maybe you get a new favorite team from in the
Maybe.
trenches.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Which in the
I'm
trenches?
capped out though. Somebody's got to get relegated. I'm capped out at 4.
Hey, there's
We
levels
can't-
to this shit.
They're in it's a few in the relegation zone.
Who's that? Who's,
Don't say
I
it.
wait for in the trenches. Yeah.
be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change their life. Take 5.
Tonight is a night where everything's going to be remembered. Every play, every sweat, every fight.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I will soon, soon. Know as a child back in the womb.
Hey, let's have a national championship Monday, huh?
My name's Pat McAfee. I've started this show 2 different occasions already. This will be the 3rd. Wow. It's 2023. We eat adversity for lunch. There's just so many different forms of gummies coming in my mouth.
Boss man, can you do a kickflip?
100 for it? 100 for it?
Oh!
Come on, bro. That was awesome.
Hey, this little teddy bear is cool. This little round thing is sweet. All right, I feel pretty good for this ESPN party. Let's go have a blast in there. Boom. Need you to do a red carpet. I've never done a red carpet before.
I got to poop, sorry.
I don't know if now's the time.
We're invited to the ESPN party, and now we are all sitting on a red carpet. We had no idea this was coming, obviously. We thought we were just getting some free drinks.
A lot of people on the internet say I look tired. What's that all about? I'm a massive fan of Posner. He was getting motivational speeches in between songs. He was playing other people's songs. He was telling people to stay down. We're going to make a moment. Only on the count of 3, we're going to go crazy. Oh, I know. Sad song. Sad song. Oh, oh, yeah.
A couple of these. Bring it up. Bring it up.
Who's up? What do you want?
What'd you do?
Gotta make this practice game, baby. It's gotta last until 9 o'clock.
Happy birthday, sack of shit. Yeah.
I'm so fired up to be here.
Yeah.
I got a necktie and everything.
Holy shit. Tim Tebow's here. Oh my God.
Look at that cut.
The most handsome shot in our show's history. Nick Saban has been spotted at SoFi. Great work in the back box. These boys crushed it. Now we got game day, then the mega cast. Let's go. Hey, let's have a night. Obviously, the enemy of great is good. The enemy of a dynasty is winning one championship and letting it go. Ron, you're obviously going to Colorado, a place that's been looking for some sort of championship for 20 years. You're also one of the greatest speakers I've ever heard. What are you saying to your team?
You can't get here and all of a sudden change.
Yeah.
You don't want to see a different mannerism of somebody, and especially the coaches. See, everybody's talking about the players.
Yeah.
But you got to coach the coaches, too.
Did you smile there, too? Were you smiling?
I
saw a smile.
I do that every now and then.
The rat poison, smiling. That's embedded fourth quarter perfection. Matthew Stafford, fourth quarter. quarter perfection, big moments, Tebow perfection. We got some real magic here tonight, don't we? And I love that toad that takes those mushrooms and eating them. With that being said, Stetson Bennett's 25 years old. He's so damn comfortable. Darnell Washington's the backup tight end. He's 6'7", 270. Brock Bowers, best player on the field. The defense full of dogs. Give it to Georgia Bulldogs. Go back-to-back. First time since this man and his Alabama squad. I love the Bulldogs tonight, barking all over the place, Coach.
Here we go, huh? A little bit of rush from old game day down the field. He went all the way to the roof to come back. We are so sorry. All right, let's roll. I gotta get to the sleep, and then I'm gonna hop over the sleep thing. Good, Brad.
You are looking at SoFi Stadium, where we'll be crowning a national champion for our college football season tonight. And the Dogs are on the board early. Wide open.
That's the shot that they wanted, baby.
Stetson Bennett with his second touchdown in the first half.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Georgia's first down. One-handed touchdown. Brock Bowers, touchdown. It is currently 45-7. It is 52-7. Touchdown.
Jeez. This is just a good old back home ass whooping.
It's a blowout, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Hey-o. That son of a bitch, Uga, is having the night of his life.
Wow.
It's raining indoors in Los Angeles. This is God taking a tinkle on something magical, isn't it? Let's get mustache.
Get him on camera.
That mustache.
Holy smoke.
Holy smokes.
Are you a firefighter?
Good for you, bro. Thanks for your service. First down, Horned Frogs on a 2nd and 3. Why don't we call a game? Holy hell, Tim Tebow is coming. Tebow, we're live.
We're on.
We're live right now. Welcome back to SoFi Stadium. Right before the break, an extra point almost killed Tim Tebow. Natural instincts had to take in place. I could not lose the greatest human on earth, and I'm happy they gave you that ball, Tim. Tone, act like you're Sonny Dykes, please.
All right, boss. First half didn't go our way. We're doing this for the great state of Texas. You know who else was down 31 points?
Who's that?
The Italians.
All right, let's take the tractor another round. What are you watching out there, Coach?
Honestly, you know, they're better off grabbing Luka Doncic out of the crowd and maybe lining him up next to Quentin Johnson at receiver. Because they can't do a damn thing.
We decided Tebow here, formerly known as praying for this TCU team to do something. So you put your hands up, play that song, butterflies fly away. Thank you for your service, sir. You're a badass, man.
Those other Americans, I wouldn't be here.
What a run, huh? The boys crushed it. This shit TCU sucks. You'll do some mean all the time.
What?
That's all she wrote for college football season. What a year. Let's fucking get home.
All right, here we are on the NFL Pro homepage. Let's step into the film room. Show you how quickly, how easily we can find any play from any week. This is week 2. Find a play result. Interceptions, of course. One of the best interceptions I've seen ever. Not the one against Tua. Let's go to Cam Taylor-Britt against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to pick which camera angle we want, broadcast or sideline. I'm going to go with the broadcast view. It's just a quick, easy example of how quickly you can use this NFL Pro tool. Awesome, awesome tool. I mean, unbelievable interception. Let's go, baby.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Wired Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Football! It's the topic of conversation. We love it. Obviously, that man is a champion at both the college level and a professional level in the sport of football. That's AJ Hawk. Hey, man, way to go.
Baby Hawk.
Talk Staples here at Boss Connor and at Ty Schmidt. 9-year NFL vet Darius J. Butler is here. And to host the OG in the trenches, AQ Shipley, also gracing us with his presence on this glorious OG in the trenches Wednesday, September 18th. We also have Tone Diggs live from Hammer. Dahn. And we'll be checking in with him for some college football conversation later in the hour. Big day today. I know you all know it. It's National Cheeseburger Day. Andy Reid was asked a question about Happy National Cheeseburger Day today. Here's how he responded.
McAfee just sent me a cheeseburger from McDonald's. I thought that was unique. McAfee's unique. So, can't wait to enjoy it.
Allegedly ended the walkthrough a little earlier, too.
Okay.
Okay, we got a quarter pounder with cheese sitting in the office on this National Cheeseburger Day. Zito this morning goes, National Cheeseburger Day. We should send Andy Reid a cheeseburger. Absolutely should. Type up a note. We DoorDash him a quarter pounder with cheese, fries, and a Sprite we went with. We didn't know what the side would be in there. And people are saying we want the cheap route going with quarter pounder with cheese or McDonald's. This is, in my eyes, the best burger you can get on a regular basis. Day in, day out, the quarter pounder with cheese shows up and is a very delightful snack. So on National Cheeseburger Day, the most famous cheeseburger fan, it just seemed to make sense to send it over there. Happy's going to enjoy that, though.
Oh, I know. It's awesome.
Happy's going to, he had what? Hot dog was the name of the play? I assume.
Corn dog.
Corn dog. Okay. I didn't know we had a...
just kind of workshop a little bit.
As he was answering there, did you start immediately thinking to yourself?
Yeah, a little bit. We'll see. Still kind of in the think tank, so, not ready for that yet, but we'll see.
I love Andy Reid. I appreciate the hell out of him. I hope he enjoys that burger, and good luck trying to do 3 in a row. AJ, did you hear the news that AQ broke earlier today that I guess was talked about during the game as it was happening, but, is a storyline that we should potentially look out for? Left tackle for Patrick Mahomes for the game-winning drive gets taken out. They put somebody else in. Obviously, the hands to the face happen. Everybody remembers it because we end up picking the first down up anyways with a pass interference call that everybody's saying the NFL's cooking for the Kansas City Chiefs with. So that seems like a big storyline for the Kansas City Chiefs, but they'll be able to figure it out, right? They're the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, they're going to have to figure it out. I would imagine they're not happy that they had to do this. I mean, that AQ was going through it. You're right. I mean, that's a rookie tackle they replaced, right, for that final drive?
Yep.
Rookie tackle. You're saying you're worried about his confidence. Don't you think, though, maybe they wouldn't have done this unless they thought, hey, maybe this is the type of guy that can handle this to take him out?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those things. I mean, listen, Trey Hendrickson was getting pressure. He was getting some sacks. And it's like, obviously, this was a drive they needed to get points on, right? So they made the move. They're going to stick with it. They hope the kid can bounce back. But, man, that is –
every once in a while, it might – just like with Bryce Young, every once in a while, just kind of getting back, watching a little bit, and then maybe going back in could be good because there's a lot of expectation. Trey Hendrickson, week 2, back-to-back Super Bowl champions, you're a rookie left tackle. Patrick Mahomes is your quarterback. Now, obviously, there's going to be people in the history of our game that have been able to be dropped into there and perform very, very well. That has obviously happened at every single position. There's been those types of people. But Trey Hendrickson, week 2, game of the weekend, Trey's going to do that to a lot. There it is. So hopefully this isn't like a real hey, just going to get better whenever you get back in. You have your opportunity. I like that Andy Reid was willing to make the decision, though. That's a massive decision.
You make it, you stick with it. I just kind of wish they would have slid the line and threw some chips at him. There was one more drive left, right? Like there was one more drive. Just get him out of the game. You want to make the move next week and maybe pull him, let him sit a couple weeks. Okay, cool. But I mean, I just wish they would have kind of just helped him out on this last drive. You could have chip helped the entire drive.
Win the game, obviously, inevitably, so it's not that big of a story. They still got the entire year in front of them. Rookie left tackle, though, will certainly be a chatter point as we move forward with this Patrick Mahomes-led team. Trying to get 3 straight, wild to think about. AQ, there are some offensive lines that done good this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
There are some offensive lines that are worthy of winning an award. There are some offensive lines that are making their debuts.
Oh, wow.
We go in the trenches with AQ Shipley's top-performing offensive line.
Here we go. I get a lot of text messages every week, and everybody gets a little bummed out with some of the teams that are in it. Maybe their team's not in it, but guess what? The beauty about this is it's a week-to-week thing. If you're not in it last week, you can get back in it this week, starting with my top 5.
Yeah, we'll give you your top 5 here in a second. This iPad is dead.
Oh, no.
Stumbling out of the gate on this in the trenches.
I know.
Jeez. Thank you, Bruce. 100% on me. I didn't put it to sleep after Bruce, good knee drive arm swing.
Wow.
Number 5
Starting with my
line.
top 5. Number 5 was a team that was in my bottom 3 last week, right? They may be the most improved team from week 1 to week 2. You talk about making the most gains from week 1 to week 2. It started with this team. We talked about it last week, and what we talked about was this team was not doing what they were built roster-wise to do last year. And as we watch this film, they get back to doing what they were doing. And it starts with their all-pro right guard, Chris Lindstrom. Dog. In pass pro. But
this is the gasher.
There it is. Here it is.
BC Eagle.
And on this one, watch Chris Lindstrom get to the second level, chop him down.
Boom.
That's exactly what Chris Lindstrom is known to do throughout this league over the last couple of years since he's come into the league from Boston College. Front side, you get the stretch. Back side, you cut him down. Front side, great stretch by Matthews. Great stretch by Bergeron. Center does a great job. And then you get the cut, and that's where the huge, big, gaping hole is.
Yeah, and Bijan's getting the ball.
Yeah, Bijan's electric.
Bijan's getting the ball. Bijan is also helping out in protection.
Holy hell.
And so we got to show this. This is a big-time play. Bijan not only does it running the ball, but guess what he also does?
What's that?
We get the chip help. We get Nolan Smith rushing off the edge of the Eagles, spent a high draft pick on. Nope. We're going to sit him down, put him on his ass. That's what you call a big bump, my friends.
Doesn't matter.
That is a big bump.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, Chris Lindstrom got beat on that play. We're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Bijan. Put him down.
In the trenches.
They're in the top 5.
Oh, my God. What happened here? Hold the phone.
Sacks.
Okay, let's zoom in over here.
Let's just watch right there.
You can see it closer.
Let's zoom in over here. Let's stay in over here.
We're right there. Stay right there. Oh, my God.
Next play. Wow, that was awesome.
How good was that?
Number 4 offensive line performance of week 2.
The Green Bay Packers.
Wow.
We go, baby.
Number 4.
Let's go, Ty.
What?
Rush for 400 yards in the first half.
Yeah,
Number 4.
I know.
Thor on one of these?
The beautiful thing about when you watch this clip is, that Indianapolis Colts defense, they are so good. We don't even block the left fucking defensive tackle. We don't need to block them. And so it's a good thing DeForest Buckner doesn't play anymore. We don't even block him. Tackle's not even going to come down. Fuck it. We're just going to let him go. Tackle forgets to come down and cut off. But check out the center of the guard. Rewind that a little bit. Rewind that just a little bit. Watch this. Watch them play off each other. As 45 goes to climb, one of the guards going to get it now, or the center's going to get it, and the guard's going to go around him to pick up 20 and get to the safety at the second level as we gash it with the big gaping hole. Jacobs does the rest, bounces it to the outside. Look at that. Look at this. This is how you pick up a cross dog in the zone scheme. This isn't even a cross dog. They're just playing off each other. Beautiful, beautiful work between center and guard. Sean Ryan does a great job just kind of seeing one person take it. You take mine, I take yours, go around. Keep it moving. Get a great block on 20. Jacobs does the rest. What a monster day for the Green Bay Packers on the ground.
They shouldn't be able to move like that. It doesn't seem to be too quick out there.
I don't know.
Good athletes.
Incredibly athletic.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Really good.
Too slow maybe on the other side.
It's really good. I mean, listen, you don't understand it too, because so many offensive linemen would stop off on that, and nobody gets to the safety, and that's a 9-yard gain. That's the effort that makes it the 30-yard gain.
Who's the number 3 performing offensive line over the Green Bay Packers, the one we just saw?
This has been a very impressive team to watch. The Arizona Cardinals.
Oh.
This is a team that a lot of people think. I leave them out every week. Listen, here's the deal. You got to do something good. You got to do something good to get on this. And they did something
you
good.
think you're just going to fall your way on Dave Cush's top performing offensive line?
That's it.
In the trenches? OG.
That's right.
What is this?
Arizona Cardinals have rebuilt their offensive line over the last couple years, starting with the left tackle, who you're going to watch move around, Paris Johnson, the Ohio State University. You got the center pull, and let's go back real quick, because this is meant to be guard, tackle, pull, but the evolution of what we've been able to do in the blocking schemes, Aaron Donald created this. When you get a backside 3 technique, it is a hard block on the center. So now we man the guard, and now we pull the center in the tackle, because centers have become more athletic as the years have gone by due to Jason Kelce as well. And so you get the center and the tackle pulling on the counter to the tight end, which is called a lead. Center's going to kick out. Paris Johnson's going to jump through the hole, and he's going to be the lead blocker for Mr. James Conner, who's become one of the best backs in the league and is running smooth and hard and running the shit out of the ball.
James Conner runs hard.
He does.
Yeah, he does. He runs hard up there. Good illustration. You're going to watch that one back, and you're going to see penis.
Oh, yeah. Paris.
Not on purpose.
That's okay.
Oh, really?
No, that was not on purpose.
Is that right?
There was 2 pullers.
Is that right?
If you go back and watch
he was inferring something.
I saw a squiggly line. I don't know.
Well, that was once I saw what was happening.
Okay, right.
Had to do it. But I promise, guard one man. We shifted that, obviously, because 3 technique is too far out there. The center was pulling that way. Tackle was pulling that way. Got to circle the seam. That's so that.
That's right.
Happens a lot in football.
Might look like a dick. It's okay.
Yeah,
the center Froholt, was going right down the old chute. He was.
Froholt was shooting.
Yeah,
Froholt
he certainly was. And he
yeah.
play that. We added a.
Hold on.
We had to. So as it was all coming together. So I apologize. That was a great breakdown, and I ruined it with my illustration.
Don't apologize.
Well done.
No,
well
not
done.
well done. I did not want to do that because what I'm doing here.
the trenches.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't do it on purpose.
Yep.
I didn't do it on purpose.
Good Lord.
All right, who is the number 2 offensive line?
The number 2 offensive line is one of Darius' 16 teams, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah,
hold up, baby.
J.K. Dobbins coming on every week, doing a great job. We got a couple clips from these guys. The first one, obviously not a huge game, but we're going to showcase one of their young stars, Rashawn Slater.
Slater.
Big brain.
Yeah. Left tackle.
I don't know if that one's in here, but
Northwestern guy.
unless it's this one.
Let's check this.
Yep, it is.
Sure is. Let's watch Rashawn Slater. Watch the double team between guard tackle. Rashawn Slater just takes this guy 5 fucking yards, lifts him up, and puts him on his ass. These are what you call blocks that do not happen in the NFL. When you see this, you got a stud. Keep him, pay him, do whatever you got to do to keep this guy as your left tackle for a long time.
Yeah, that's another professional athlete there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Lumber and Joe Alt pulling too.
Yeah.
Look at that guy picking him up and putting him down.
Joe Alt,
shit.
Joe Alt's doing it. Joe Alt is having a year so far. I mean,
Really?
They've done a really good job revamping their offense, and man, are they running the shit out of the ball. They ran. It's exactly what Greg Roman used to do in Baltimore. They ran trap play. Like, again, a trap play is a mix-up. Darius, you know this.
Yep.
It's a 3rd and 15 play when you're just trying to get 7 yards back, right? They ran trap as one of their main parts of their offense. They ran it 5 times in this game against Carolina Panthers. And then just a heavy dose of outside zone, heavy dose of fullback. I mean, they are just running the shit out of the ball, which is alleviating a lot of the stress that Justin Herbert's had to deal with the last couple of years.
Well, it's hardball football.
Oh, yeah.
We literally, as soon as we heard Hardball was going to the Chargers, we just we said, well, we know what style of football the Chargers are going to play. Because literally every other place that Hardball's ever been, they play one way. And this is the way they play.
Mean cusses.
They are. They'll meet you in an alley.
Yeah, that's who we draft.
Yeah. We can play this game in a phone booth. We can play this on field 53 and a third wide. We can play this in a parking lot.
Bud.
This is what our team's going to do to your team.
That's right.
And then towards the end, you're going to get tired. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to get harder, faster.
Pound him.
That's what they do.
That's it. That's what they do.
And they have been doing, is what you're saying.
That's exactly what they do. In this play, you got to see this. You got to see this. Watch the fullback on the end. This is unbelievable.
Is that Gus Edwards lead blocking too?
Hold on, who's the fullback? We know the fullback.
You got the fullback in the backfield, and then you got the tight end wing to this side. Watch the wing right here. Snap him back on the tight end.
Great.
Climb to the second level. Watch the fullback with the kick out. Watch everybody else create a wall, and you don't get touched for 50 yards. Like, that's literally what you get with this offense right now. Doesn't get touched. See ya. See ya, boys. This is the NFL. Oh, here we go. Maybe a little bit, and then we do a flip into the end zone. Let's go. LA Chargers looking awesome.
Man, it does feel like they are just taking on the identity completely and quickly. We're only in week 2 right now of the Hardball experience.
That's right. And the biggest negative that's been going on in the run game the last couple of years is you get these people on the edge. You get these tight ends. You get these wings that can't block. This is an incredible combo block between left tackle, tight end, wing, just kind of sealing the edge. They call this a gang. Whenever you get all 4 guard, tackle, tight end, wing, ganging up to the linebacker, sealing, kick out with the fullback, and you're gone. Off to the races.
Maybe the Panthers are playing some tough teams.
Yeah, maybe it's not as bad as it feels.
I mean, back-to-back weeks, they're on in the trenches on the wrong trench. Maybe they're playing some really good teams.
Yeah, maybe good offensive line.
Yeah. Maybe their quarterback's just dropping back and just fucking.
So there's enough playing. The guy got benched.
He's got a lot of weapons, dude. But he's got no help out there, dude. Look at that team.
That's
what is this guy's problem?
That's what I saw.
Doesn't happen on the other end of the trenches.
Who's the number? You're right. We'll remember that.
You will.
We certainly will.
Good Lord.
I got a lot of people in the NFC South that aren't going to like this one again.
Oh, no. Is it back-to-back?
New Orleans Saints, number 1 offensive line of the week. And they are doing a great job. And it starts with Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, who comes from obviously great lineage. His father's an absolute stud who learned from all the greats. And they are doing a great job, not only up front and out-physicaling the shit out of everybody they play against, but schematically, they are winning every single time, too. Check this out. You got guard on the front side, Lucas Patrick, who the Chicago Bears could really use right now on their offensive line. But watch it. And this is what's really cool. You're going to see ghost motion, right? So you're going to see a receiver come in from out here, and he's going to buzz around. As he does that, it brings the DB into the box. They know that. Going into the week, you're going to get a bump back into the box. So now he knows not to chase 50, and he's going to climb to 35. Watch what Lucas Patrick does to number 35 at the second level. He gets his hands on him, he runs his feet, and he puts him on his ass.
Too small.
It's unbelievable. Now let's go to the backside. Let's rewind this a little bit. Let's look at Trevor Penning. Last year in his old scheme, Trevor Penning, hey, let's get rid of this guy. First-round pick, he's going to be a bust. Nope. New scheme, he's a dog again. This is what they brought him in for. Let's get the D-tackle. Let's pull him back in and then throw him on the ground as well. You get bodies on the ground when you watch the New Orleans Saints tape. It's incredible to watch. They're doing a great job running the football. They're doing a great job in play action. Look at them. Pull him back in. That's a hold. Who gives a shit? Doesn't get called. Put him on the ground.
You guys are always cheap.
Ghost action again, too.
Yeah, ghost action is good eye candy, isn't it?
It is.
Oh, yeah. It is. But, I mean, those linebackers, I feel like some small linebackers.
Yeah, they got to get better linebacker play. There's no question.
They dance around contact a lot on tape.
But even schematically, I mean, they just went after Micah Parsons in the run game, and in the pass game, they threw 3 people at him. They threw a tight end, they threw a fullback, they threw a back, they threw all kind of people at tackle inside, guard popping around, whatever, tackle outside, guard coming from the inside, plus a tight end. They had no business being on the field with these guys.
Congrats to the Saints, number 1 performing offensive line.
Unbelievable.
Week 2, and the OG in the trenches, top 5 O-lines. Way to go, AQ. That was really kind of you. The point you made there about smaller linebackers, that's becoming the NFL thing.
Yeah.
As we transition into this back to pan and football. You know, everybody says the NFL is cyclical. Football is cyclical. You know, whenever it started becoming like wide open passing all the time, wide open passing, I thought to myself, oh, this is how football is always going to be. And then old football people who are super wise are like, nah. What's old is new. What's new is old. It'll come right back. This is how this whole thing works. And now you're seeing offensive guru people say, all right, the meat that used to be on defenses that was in there to hold up against a downhill operation or attack is no longer in there because they used to have to run sideline to sideline to chase all these wide receivers in a spread formation. So we can potentially take advantage of just running downhill on people, and that's D-line and linebackers.
Yeah.
And there's some teams that are doing that. So now it leads me to believe that the big linebackers are going to be back in play for some teams, and we're going to go through a transition era probably over the next 10 years.
And you don't have, like, I've seen small, like Jarrell Freeman, one of our former teammates. Like, he wasn't the biggest guy, but he was going to strike you. It was going to be hat in hands. He wasn't dancing around blocks. Like, you can't dance around blocks because that messes up the guy behind you. If you're a DB and you're trying to fit off a backer, that backer's fitting off the D lineman, that messes up everybody's fit. So it's one thing to, be smaller, but you got to strike and be able to boom, hat in hands, get them off you. If you're not dancing around, I mean, you dance around blocks.
You
Never
talking about Cobra Strike?
Cobra Strike. Oh yeah, hat in hands, baby.
AJ, you're
AJ
a
Hawk
Strike.
special.
Yeah, it is AJ Hawk special, isn't it?
It's the only way to survive. Those linemen, their arms are too long and they'll grab you, man.
Yeah.
Long arms, huh? Those offensive linemen.
You don't need long arms to hold, I promise you. Just get them inside. Fucking steer the wheel, baby.
Yeah. How do you feel about Quentin
Steer the
Nelson doing what he did there? Legitimately, I think it was very kind of him. He
It
didn't
was
pick
kind.
up a 15-yard penalty, which was certainly guaranteed at that exact time. Our offense wasn't doing a lot. We're backed up already. He has to block the guy. Decleats him.
Yeah.
Decleats him.
Great thumbs up.
But he could have been much meaner. Do you think we're going to see more of this as the rules continue to kind of evolve?
If so, I mean, yeah, probably, because I'm looking at all the Guardian caps I see around the league. I mean, we see all this stuff. Like, we get it. We get where we're going. But your job as an offensive lineman is to be a prick. Your job as an offensive lineman is to take the penalty there. Your job as an offensive
Take the
lineman.
penalty?
Yeah.
Well, that's
you
not
needed
good,
something.
team.
You had D tackles that were getting unblocked and weren't chasing. You needed something to get going.
Okay, all right.
You needed something.
That's his idea. In
He
his
needs a
opinion.
spark.
He was going to be the spark, yeah. He was
That was the spark. Yeah.
You needed a spark.
Half the distance. You guys haven't really done much today. Half the distance. Back it up even more. Yeah, it is. It is interesting though that I feel like that is the modern era of football. That would never happen in the past, ever. So there's going to be some people that look at that and are like, the guy was asking for it.
Yeah.
This is not your fault. This is his fault for not even knowing that this is possible. And then you got other people that are like, not a penalty. We move along. We keep him. If we win that game, I think it's amazing. The fact that we lose, I think, brings credence to what they're saying on the other side a lot more. Colts are going to start winning. They remember we're doing the right things. Football gods are going to bless us.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Bears on Sunday. I mean, if we don't get the Bears done, this city.
It's a must win,
city's
brother.
gonna
If
turn.
must win,
If who don't get
gotta
the
have it.
You say we?
Yeah, we.
Oh, so
The
you root
city
for the
of
coach.
Indianapolis.
So you root for the coach.
The city of Indianapolis.
We get loud in the
city's
loud
behind the
house.
Colts,
Is what
brother.
we do.
Multiple
D-Bugs.
teams.
Do I live in the city? Do I live in
just-
this city?
The amount of multiple team fans in this building right now.
It's disgusting.
You heard it.
disgusting.
You heard
is
the
right.
pre-show. 'Cause
That's not me.
It's a lot of fakers once these mics. Our team, I ride
I got a question.
You want us to go in the suite and boo the Colts? Is that what we're supposed to do?
Do you pay for the stadium for
what
the
I'm
teams to root
saying
for?
is-
Because
what I'm-
I
Yeah,
paid
we're
for
paying.
the goddamn
We're paying
stadium in this
downtown,
city,
damn it.
motherfucker.
So
Okay, so
Yeah.
I want my fucking
God
money.
damn it.
I want my fucking money's worth. All right? You don't pay for the Charger Stadium or the Eagles Stadium. I paid for this fucking shit.
Get him!
All right?
Get him!
What I'm seeing is bullshit. My stomach's cramping. Jesus Christ.
You were promised 2 Super
You
Bowls.
gotta be fucking kidding me. 2 Super Bowls this decade for my assholes.
Yeah.
I get it, brother.
You are a citizen.
Yep.
We're fucking 0-2, man.
Thank you for paying your taxes.
Oh, my money back.
Coach Steichen.
I want it back. Look at you, Jim. Look at you, Jim. I want my fucking money back.
Shit.
Woo. Son of a bitch.
And where Patriots had in their week 1.
Yeah, I love that move. I wear my team's gear in there, yeah.
But he does cheer when good things happen.
I want them to do well for the city.
It's good for the city.
My fucking investment doesn't go to shit.
All right. Tone.
God damn it. I'm sweaty now.
How many other teams, though, do you consider yourself invested in? Because you bet on teams, I think, probably pretty regularly. Do you feel invested in them?
To be honest with you, I was actually thinking about this weekend. I really bet so many touchdowns that I'm not even betting on as many teams that I really am only.
You got any horses for touchdowns that we're?
Yeah, I got a. Right here actually. It just feels like there's some guys due. Brock Bowers due. He's been
He's leading the league in everything but touchdowns.
Yeah, he's killing. I think he had 9 targets last week, 9 catches. So he's due. Bijan hasn't scored yet, which is kind of nuts because you see what they're doing with him for the Falcons. He's due. Chris Olave has not scored yet.
Great body. That guy's body control.
He's absurd.
So good.
Derrick Henry got a bet.
Derrick Henry.
They're going to start forcing the ball to him. You watch.
Yeah, he's a safe one. Because of that, I like Lamar, because Lamar hasn't scored, and everyone's saying after last week, like, Lamar, if juked one guy, he would have scored. There are two guys at the fucking goal line, so that's not true. But still, Lamar, even though it's a really tough, I mean, the Ravens, I forget who they have. They have
Cowboys.
Yeah,
And
so that's kind of a tough one because they're both due.
They might as well not even put a run defense on the field.
Who?
Cowboys.
Really? Bad matchup for them this weekend.
I mean, their run fits were atrocious against the Saints.
That's what you were talking about.
They just dancing.
Yeah.
Running around shit, just trying, like, that's never going to
How's the Ravens O-line?
Yeah, but Zimmer might.
Atrocious.
Is Zim long in the tooth?
Uh-oh.
What?
Whoa.
Don't turn into Gumps.
Has the game passed Zim by?
Oh, my God.
People are asking.
Uh-oh.
We don't need that.
People are asking.
We don't need that. Business decisions being made.
Don't love it.
But you would think that would get righted, right? Because there'd be an emphasis on it.
I mean, it's not that easy. I mean,
What do you mean?
it's easy in theory, but then you get in the game and all of a sudden, okay, well, everything we worked on all week, these guys aren't doing.
Yeah, but
that,
it's a mindset
that can happen
thing,
too.
right? Isn't it a mindset thing, though? More so?
Yeah.
And I would not be tough enough to do it, so I'm not saying it. But it is like a linebacker.
You lose trust. That's the thing. If you don't have the trust on the guy to your left, to your right, in front of you, like, hey, I know AJ's going to fit this inside out. So I know I'm going to shoot my gun outside in. And, like, once you have that trust and you're firing, it's not necessarily – obviously you got to fill gaps, but then even in open field, like, when I have that confidence in the guy left or right and I can shoot my gap full, that's the only way you can really – you can't open field tackle Bijan and Saquon, these guys one-on-one. Like, you got to shoot your gun and somebody else got to be shooting the opposite way. Once in a while you make an open field tackle one-on-one, but that trust and, like, that accountability, so it's gonna be some gut checks. It's early in the season. Nobody does full speed tackling in training camp or preseason. I mean, preseason obviously, but a bunch of guys aren't playing in preseason. So now you're going into week 3. Some gut check time. You look in the mirror, and everybody sees it on film. Like they're playing these same tapes. They're playing these same cut ups. When they go in there on Monday, they're doing the walkthroughs on the fits and all that shit. So you will hope the good coach and the good players figure it out.
Yeah, so maybe the Cowboys figure it out.
Jimmy's and the Joes.
No. The X's and O's got to be good as well. I mean, there is
The X's and the O's, you know what you're getting. They line up the same way.
Well, that's part of the problem is people playing their defense against things that they know are definitely going to be different. For instance, I think JJ was saying that about Gus Bradley, basically, and I think that was kind of the mission. We ran our defense against the Packers, even though they were going to run a bunch. We're running our shit. This is our shit. We're going to do it great, I think, is what was being said or whatever. Yeah. Colts are going to figure it out, too. I know you've been watching film. Colts.
For sure.
Colts gave you a lot of good years.
They did.
Colts gave you a lot of really good years.
Really good years. Had a blast here.
Training staff.
One of my favorite times of my career.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Had a good locker, mate.
Great. Come on, we had good times.
Great times. Great times.
Coach, training staff, great.
Yeah.
Equipment manager people, great.
Problem is none of those guys are still there.
Yeah, they are.
That's not true.
Training staff still there. Equipment manager still there.
Training staff's top notch.
Thank you.
Love
yeah,
those
we
guys.
agree. Love them.
Love those equipment guys. Best
Top
in the
notch.
business.
Yeah. Even got one out of Arizona from there, Schwim.
Yep.
And New England.
And New England stick.
Best taped ankles in the league.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's training. We're talking equipment managers now.
Oh, of course.
Two different. But I think it was National. Is it National Athletic Training Week? That was either this week or last week. Shout out to all our trainers.
Do they have those? Is that the? Are they? Don't they play like flag football before? Is that this week?
I don't.
Or is that every week?
I don't know. We should Google that. Yeah, because
there's a game.
Equipment managers play against each other.
Yeah.
Once again.
Two different things. Yeah. Putting that together as we talk about it. Yep. We're getting there.
I'll tell you what though, equipment managers, okay, and athletic trainers and medical crew, physical therapists and everything like that, backbone of buildings. Like that is actual backbone.
Lifeblood of the NFL. Lifeblood of the NFL, for real. Those guys, they know everything. Players know them very well. They know players very well. They can tell you what culture is like inside every locker room.
Immediately. And here at the Colts, they do the combine every year. All the equipment managers.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's like they literally T is a guy who you've definitely seen.
Mm-hmm.
He catches balls basically on TV anytime a Colt is doing it. He also catches at combines too. So he's literally he's got footballs from everybody that's basically in the NFL. And you know, the way the way the ball came, like they could talk about that whole thing. And it's like they work with Peyton, obviously, throughout the entirety of his career. Andrew, it's like good people at the Colts. I assume everywhere. You know,
when we were playing, like the training staff, equipment staff, like those would stay through regimes. So 3-4 different head coaches, GMs, whatever. Usually, at least when we were playing, they would carry over. So there'll be guys that have been 30 years in the equipment room. Hammer, he's been with the coach since, 84?
Yeah, and John Scott has been there since Baltimore.
Yeah.
He's in the equipment room.
Yeah. And it's like that a lot of places.
Yeah, Frog, I think, has been there for 25 years plus. T's been there for,
awesome.
I think, a long time. Smack's been there, I think, for a long time. But yeah, they'll just like, a story will just drop out of their mouth about Mara. Like in the playoffs, we're just trying to win a damn game or whatever. That entire, they have all those situations and stories. They have their favorites and their people they hate, though.
Sure.
Certainly.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly have a group of people they hate. I assume that's in every equipment room. Boy, not a group that you would ever want against you.
Need them on your good side.
But also the type of people, they're like hard work. These people, they're doing the jobs that need, necessity. But to do that and then to have the attitude and the vibes that they all have to have, because you can't be bringing anybody down. Like that can't be.
Nah.
You can't be. You're going to be around a lot of shit. You cannot be negative at all. Don't care if you're tired. Don't care if you just got done doing something that's no fun at all and nobody else wants to do. Fucking bring good energy, please. Okay, when you're spotting the ball, let's have a little juice. Let's make this as game-like as possible. And then they obviously all take that very serious, and that is like, okay, that's why you see these people have these jobs for so long, because once you get a good one, you don't want to lose them. And then the trainers, that shit, that's 4 a.m. Those are 4 a.m. wake-up calls. And then you're in there at 5:15, and then that's through 9 p.m., 10 p.m. at night. And then, by the way, have a fucking good attitude.
Have to, because people who are going to you are in shitty boots.
Yes, you got to be funny, got to have energy, got to be inspiring, got to be motivating. Don't be scared. And also, you got to be very smart. Like, you got to actually figure it out.
Yeah.
Those crews are awesome. I'm happy every once in a while when we get into these conversations. They're a good group. Green Bay have the same people in the building?
Oh, my, yes. I mean, it's Green Bay, so like the history, tradition. Red Batty is one of the most famous equipment guys of all time. He just retired, but I believe he was on staff when Bobby's dad was playing for the Houston Oilers back in the day. Like, this dude, Red has some stories. He's been around.
Bobby Carpenter?
Yeah. Bobby's dad played 10, 12 years in the league.
His
and
father.
Red was on staff for Bobby's dad back in the day.
So do we know if the general's father was similar to the general?
He was a dog.
Rob Carpenter, he played for Bill Parcells. He was a tailback, too. Rob was running the rock. Yeah, he was awesome.
Do we know personality trait, though? Is he similar to...
He's not. I've been at a few weddings with Rob. Is very subdued, low-key, and quiet and observes. But then you get any of the Carpenter boys on a dance floor, and they all just kill it. Shirts off, ties around their head, and they're going after it.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
That's Carpenter football, baby. I'd like to hear that. That's good news. All right, before we get out of here, let's make sure we cover the sport that has carried us before the NFL kicked off. And we'll also be running a great tag team partner alongside NFL football this year as the ratings, interest, and quality of everything is at an all-time high. 12-team playoffs at the end of the year, but we're currently in the middle of a great one. Let's go to Hammer, Dahn, AP Tone. What do we need to be talking about college ball, Tone?
Yeah, we're going to do 6 of the top stories coming out of this week's college football. And number 1, we're going to start with the number 1 Longhorns, who have outscored their opponents 139-19 this year. Quinn Ewers, a lot of people are saying they have the 2 best quarterbacks in college football. Quinn Ewers gets hurt. He gets an ab strain. In comes Arch Manning, has 5 touchdowns to lead to Texas over UTSA. And now there could be a quarterback controversy down there.
Well, Quinn Ewers, I assume whenever he comes back and he's healthy, he will be playing. He is out this upcoming weekend. Who are they playing this weekend?
They are playing, I think, UL Monroe. I think they're 50 points-ish favorites.
Yeah, are they in Louisiana or are they in Texas?
I would assume it's at Texas if I had to take a guess.
Okay, if it was in Louisiana, that's his home.
Yeah, even more so.
Either way here, this is a, boy. Arch throws another 5 tuds or runs for 20-plus miles an hour, shakes his thing. Conversation's going to get loud.
It's going to get loud.
Going to get loud. What else do we need to be talking about, Tone?
The number 2, the reason why Texas is number 1 and now Georgia is number 2. Georgia survives and advanced 13-12 over Kentucky. Kentucky absolutely shut down Carson Beck and the entire Georgia running game, but as these teams do, Georgia found a way to win, but they did drop in the polls. Could it be a look ahead because they have a bye this week, but then they have Bama coming off of that. So I don't know if it was a look ahead spot or Kentucky looked so bad against South Carolina. But Georgia, they struggled mightily, and they were lucky to get a win last week.
Georgia Bama next week, big,
pumped,
huge. That's going to be huge. That's going to be huge. Let's assume, okay, don't like to do these types of things, but let's assume there's a chance our program will be down there on next Friday.
Here we go.
I believe there's other big names going to be there.
Yeah, let's just assume. Let's just assume that our show is going to be here. Let's just assume that that's going to be the case. I have heard about some guests that are potentially heading to that game. I do not know where College Game Day is going to be, but let's assume that we will have our show there next Friday for that big Georgia-Bama matchup.
Hell yeah.
Bye week this weekend for Georgia. Okay? After that Kentucky game, boy, Bama is about to get a Kirby Smart buzzsaw.
Yep.
And then Bama, see how they continue to blossom.
Yeah.
That team could be, in the end, win it all. Jalen Miller. What a game.
Yeah.
And this is week what? That'll be week 4 or 5?
4.
And then we got the October 12th weekend where there's just college ball is awesome. All right, what do we need to talk about next? baby.
Yeah, number 3, Miami is an absolute wagon. They've outscored their opponents 159-26. Obviously, we saw in week 1 they just dismantled Florida. Cam Ward has been unbelievable. He's passing for 345 a game and has 11 touchdowns. Xavier Restrepo is their dominant wide receiver. Damian Martinez, the running back, came over from Oregon State. They are just absolutely rolling people, and they look the part so far.
Cam Ward, obviously, is the straw that stirs the entire drink down there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen a more perfect quarterback end up at a perfect spot at a perfect time in the program's history. Because if you look at the ACC right now, okay, good time for Miami to get good. You look at college ball with all the eyes and the attention, good time for Miami to get good. Now you drop in an experienced quarterback that seemingly can do it all, slings the rock phenomenally, can move, tough to tackle, and you get the entire U culture back into college ball. It's great. I know the people down in Florida are big fans, right? South Florida right now, we got this thing. We're winning it all.
Absolutely, especially with what's going on with the other big programs in Florida.
Who's that?
UF, stinking. Florida State, stinking. USF, UCF, they're not really in this conversation. But the U's back, needed it. Only grew up with one college team, and it was University of Miami. Obviously, I'm a Connecticut Husky, but love what's going on at U.
Yeah.
Love Cam Ward. Seen some great Cam merch in the office this week, too. So big. That's my sleeper for the national championship.
Canes fan.
Yeah, longtime Canes fan, full lifetime Canes fan. Connecticut Husky.
Of course.
Let's go basketball.
Yeah, I mean, we had a barn burner with Duke last week.
Really?
Who won? It was close. I mean, Duke pulled it out. Late,
was that in Connecticut or down?
Not sure.
I think it was in Duke.
It was in Duke.
Oh, we're back in. Yeah, we're back in Hartford, East Hartford this week.
Oh, that's a good place. I was up there for the arena, remember?
That's right.
You said you loved it.
It was great. Great time. Good time. Hartford was a beautiful city. Yeah.
Remember that ghost season with UConn football? That was a fun season.
It was all right. Miami's back. That's great news. Love that convo.
Number 4, 6 of the top 7 teams in the country are all coming out of the SEC. The only one is not is Ohio State. So, that's fun. The SEC, still the SEC. Is that SEC bias? I don't know. But were they just really good football?
Missouri gets a massive win over Boston College. I thought maybe Boston College gets that one because, why not? Boston College is doing it. At the beginning, you thought they had him. Instead, Eli Drinkwitz and company get a big-time win there. Oregon, there's always going to be the same question about Oregon as it continues to go, even though they win a big civil war over Oregon State. Penn State, we've seen them really do it, and then we've seen them really not. So a lot of question marks around a few teams. And I think Georgia having the struggle that they had against Kentucky, I don't think a lot of people are giving Kentucky much credit for being a good football team this year. I think a lot of people are saying, okay, Georgia has a chance to struggle. Penn State had a chance to struggle. Oregon had a chance to struggle. What will Miami be? We don't have faith. Missouri maybe. Then you look at some of the teams that have just been outright dominant, and you wonder, can you sustain that? Or are you going to run into a little bit of a hurdle and adversity as well? Ole Miss, what a fun team.
Rolling.
What a fun team they could be, Tone Diggs. And we talked about this, I talked about this on game day via your college football Rolodex. They had 2 transfers from the Joe Moore Award-winning offensive line in Washington over to Ole Miss. They returned their quarterback. They had 2 transfers that led each individual school, Texas A&M and Florida at Sachs, transfer into their D-line over there. And then they transferred in Juice Wells from South Carolina, wide receiver. He's the number 2 target right now behind Trey Harris. It's like Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They lose Quinshon Judkins to Ohio State, but it's like they reloaded at like every other position. This could be the year for Lane Kiffin.
Absolutely.
And he's talking his shit too.
Yeah. I hope it's
They are so stacked on offense. It's ridiculous. And you talk about the pieces that they brought in on defense, and it was somebody, it was Saban or Herbstreit or someone said if you could keep those guys motivated on defense, they're going to be really, 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 really good.
Well, Ole Miss, I assume there'll be a game day there somewhere. That feels like it's going to be 175 degrees.
Without a doubt.
At least.
99 in Oklahoma?
Oh, shit. I don't know if it's going to get much hotter than that.
99?
Ole Miss might be one of the home playoff games, though, in December. Because if you look at the SEC, if they don't win the SEC,
their schedule is pretty nice. I think they don't play anyone super tough until later.
But to Connor's point, if they don't win the SEC championship, they're going to host a home.
Yes, for
sure.
sure.
They're going to be a very high rank. That'd be a
real treat.
From what we've been told, I guess that's electrifying down there. That is a great, great scene for college ball. Can't wait to see how it all matches out. What else should we be talking about, Tone?
Oh, I got to stand up for this one. This one's got me jacked up. Okay, Nebraska and IU are both undefeated. Okay,
what?
Stick with me here. Okay, they weren't supposed to be. They've been down the last few years, but Sig Signetti comes into IU, and he's got the boys rolling. And, of course, roll with Nebraska's got the boys rolling. Nebraska has a ranked matchup versus Illinois this week, which they are favored in by quite a bit, okay? And then they have Purdue and Rutgers, which if Nebraska plays the way Nebraska plays, they could win. And then IU just beat UCLA 42-13. And then they have Charlotte this week, Maryland, and Northwestern before Nebraska. We are staring down a Nebraska and IU matchup that week where Georgia's playing Texas. Okay, I get that's a big game or whatever, but we get an undefeated Nebraska versus
2.
Yeah, 1 versus 2. But if we get an undefeated Nebraska versus an undefeated IU, these two teams, something special is going on with these programs. Okay, Pat?
Yeah, I saw you campaigning for College Game Day to go to Bloomington, obviously.
If we care about ball.
Georgia, Texas is not Georgia, Texas.
Yeah, I mean, who's looked better, IU or Georgia? Huh?
Good question. Good point.
Fair point.
Good question.
Hey, Sig Signetti is rolling down there. How about him showing up, starting an NIL? Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to turn this around. What type of coach are you? Google me. I win. That's all I do. I win. And, I think his age was potentially a thing at some of these places for not hiring him at another place because his resume and his qualifications are certainly at the standard of elite program. But he's older, so a lot of people didn't think he'd be getting any of these head coaching jobs. He hasn't won a national championship and yada, there's like some people that get grandfathered in that are older that'll get jobs. But then if you don't win a national championship, you get a little bit older, people will be like, well, why would we hire the guy that hasn't done it? Now, he's been an assistant, has had a lot of success in that whole thing, goes to JMU, rides that whole thing out. But as soon as he gets to IU, there's just like a whole new – and they beat the shit out of UCLA.
Kills them.
At the Rose Bowl after talking shit about the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. Yep.
Like Signetti did that. So you talk about culture change quickly down there in Bloomington for IU. You got people that have only cared about basketball down there. Only cared about basketball. All of a sudden saying UCLA football team.
That's right.
UCLA football team right now. It's all coming around. That's the Signetti effect. That's Sig Signetti.
Yeah.
Sig wins.
Who does he hate? I can't remember.
Purdue. But he also, should have known. He said from the get-go when he got there, I've never lost before, don't plan on doing it now. And guess what? He hasn't yet. So, I don't know. Sig Signetti's a fucking dog. Light the Sigs.
Dude, he don't need people to do that.
Light the Sigs, baby.
Only if you're an IU fan.
Fire up the Sig. I appreciate that he got on our show, looked at a crowd of 15,000, whatever it was, 10,000, however many people it was, and said, do we like the NCAA? It's like, this is a head coach of a program.
Yeah.
And the whole place goes, no. He's like, that's what I fucking thought. It's like, that takes,
legend.
Like the type of human he is, is awesome. I'm happy he's won. Way to go, Coach.
Hell yeah, Coach.
And Coach Rule, we knew. We didn't know about Raiola, though. We didn't know that he was just going to get dropped in and be.
Now we do.
Highly recruited, too, had an idea, but
Rule.
a lot of guys don't come in and perform well.
Yeah.
How do we feel
Matt
about
Rule played at a great program.
What?
Where?
Bama?
Nittany Lion, let's go. Matt Rule.
Who's the D coordinator?
The D tackle.
Who was his coach?
From State College, Pennsylvania.
Matt Rule is from State College, Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
He played there.
Yeah.
No, I know he played at Penn State. I know he was from.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody's from.
That's not even a town.
Larry Johnson.
From there.
Well, his dad was.
Matt Rule was born in New York, just so we understand.
Okay.
Just so we understand.
Well, he went to high school.
Okay, in State College. And that's why he's such a good football coach?
Like, went to a great program.
Is that where Shady's from?
They got high school.
Harrisburg?
Shady's from Harrisburg, yeah.
That's
Bishop
close enough.
McDevitt High School.
Close enough.
Shay's a good player.
He was a stud.
Do you remember what he
Crazy
was?
work.
He was in the facility.
That's Matt Rule right there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he a linebacker or a D lineman? 98 D lineman, I guess, right? Because I saw some linebacker videos from back in
I think it was D-line.
Kind of looks like Goose.
Does
look like Goose.
Rest in peace to the legend. So you
98 with the face mask. That's all Goose.
Do you think Matt Rule runs any plays from his playing days at Penn State to motivate the boys and let them know what they need to do?
He learned how to run a very good program up there, and he's really taking it.
Have you ever seen him play?
Whoa.
Have you seen any plays from Matt Rule at Penn State? How is he?
Not sure.
What are strengths and weaknesses?
I mean, I don't know when he played. 90s? He played in the 90s.
Oh, my God.
I hope he didn't take anything.
You're the one
from
that
Penn
started
State.
this conversation. You're the one that started this.
Stud. That's all you need to know is he learned from a great program.
He was a walk-on.
He was a walk-on. Yep.
Who was his DC?
Great program then?
94 might be the greatest college football team of all time. Maybe.
Okay.
He played linebacker from 94 to 97.
There you go. He was on that
both.
team. He left that at
Both. Think you gonna put that guy in a box?
Yeah, you're right. Walk on. You think you're going to slow him down?
That's
And
right.
He's playing safety too, I think.
Who was his linebacker coach?
Jeez.
Don, what else we need to talk about college football?
Was LeVar Arrington on that team?
94, 97.
LeVar was 97 to 99.
Oh, okay. Probably had to sit behind Matt Rule for a couple years.
Fact check that. 97 to 99, LeVar Arrington.
Him and Corey Brown.
Courtney Brown there as well, too.
Yeah, he jumped.
They went number 1 and number 2 overall.
Jeez,
Damn.
You're 100% right. 97 and 99.
Penn Hills High School. Fact check that.
LeVar.
Well, yeah, we knew that
North
one.
Hills.
Yeah.
Almost. North Hills.
Fact check.
Fact check.
Fact check that.
Right in the.
Courtney Brown, South Carolina.
Okay, now we're just naming states.
Yeah, he was a ball player.
Goose Creek, I think.
You love Penn State growing up? You love Penn State growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I Notre Dame, Penn State.
You were, if any other school, was Penn State biggest offer or?
I mean, let's relax over here.
Every school?
I had 50-something offers.
The NFL viewed me differently than colleges did coming out of high school.
Well, I was listed at 6'3" coming out of high school. I fucking shrunk and my arm shrunk.
Your dad working the highlight?
Oh, yeah, no doubt, man.
Yeah.
My dad was working the highlight. I think some people had me at 6'4".
Basketball Hall of Famer, too.
No doubt. I'm fucking in basketball, I was 6'10". I was getting looked.
How's this 6'4" center getting this leverage on every single player the way that he does?
Unbelievable.
He's got a natural build, too. Look at how small those arms are. He's 6'4".
We'd go to these rivals.com
Ship shape.
camps.
We've lied about it for years.
We'd go to these rivals.com camps, and I'd put fucking heel lifts in.
You're putting pogs in your shoes?
That's it, man. That's it.
Of course, we know.
Yep, we know.
We know you did. We know, AQ. Anything else we need to hit there, Tone Diggs?
Yeah, Sooner legend, Tennessee head coach Josh Heupel is heading back home this weekend as Volunteers head to Oklahoma. The location of game day this weekend, it's going to be awesome for the Sooners' first official SEC game, and these are 2 top 15 teams, so it should be awesome.
Yeah, Maleava, Nico, quarterback for Tennessee, is obviously lightning in a bottle, can spin it. And then Jackson Arnold, a freshman quarterback for Oklahoma, is doing fantastic. But the defense on Oklahoma is who you're going to want to look out for. Dylan Stotsman. This dude is a dog. Absolute dog. Stotsman. Absolute dog. He's got a tattoo on his thigh. Dylan Stotts.
Danny Dillon.
Danny, right? Danny Stotts.
Got a brother?
Dylan Gabriel, gone from Oklahoma.
Right.
He is now in Oregon, obviously. Talking about fucking Danny, dude. He's on the show.
Hell yeah, he was.
I love that guy. Dylan gone, though.
Yeah, he
You
is.
see, which is a big departure from Oklahoma, which is what I was trying to say.
They let him go because they love Jackson Arnold so much.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Venables in his program. You know, you're in the SEC now, a lot of spotlight games. Oklahoma is like one of those storied places. I'm like pumped to get out there and see what it's like.
Be awesome.
I'm excited to see what the town is.
Josh Heupel's QB, their last national championship.
Yeah, they got it. They did a game day piece on him. I'm seeing the Chris Fowler leads into a clip on game day about him, and Venables makes an appearance because he was obviously on the coaching staff at the time. It's like a lot of stories.
He looked the exact same then as he does now.
Tony.
What's that about?
I don't know if I saw the same.
I don't know if I've seen. I don't remember him in college.
Yeah, me neither.
Same.
Looks the same.
Don't do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, 10 Dicks. Thank you, buddy.
Big Tony.
Tony.
Dylan Gabriel gone. Sorry about that, Danny. Danny was a good dude, though.
Yeah.
That tattoo on his fucking.
Yeah.
They're committed over there.
Oh, yeah.
They do not like Texas.
No, they don't.
Both going to the SEC. That's good news. Remember, Greg Sankey was at the Red River rivalry last year. It's like, yeah, it's an SEC game going forward. It's like, wow. I didn't even think about that. Greg Sankey's got to feel good about where the SEC is right now.
Yes.
Rolling.
6 of the top 7 ranked. Let alone all the other sports. Like Oklahoma has that softball team.
Yeah.
They've won 4 straight national championships, I think.
Yeah. Damn.
Is that right?
I believe so. Unless they, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they've at least won 4 in the last 5.
Yeah, whatever
it is. Yeah.
They're now in the SEC. You know.
And then
Tennessee just won the College World Series this last year. LSU before that.
The SEC, they're enjoying life down there.
Yeah.
How's everybody able to operate with how hot it is? 99.
Maybe that's why they can do it. And then,
AJ, 99 degrees at Oklahoma this week.
Nasty. I mean, it's going to be 90-something here, I think.
Yeah, it's like 80-something
It's
outside.
hot as fuck after the show every day.
What happened? So what are we doing?
I don't know, because it's like 50s in the morning when you get here.
Yeah,
and
it's like a desert almost.
Yeah.
It has a little bit of a desert feel.
It's kind of perfect.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't know how long it's going to last. It is a little too hot. If we could drop the temperature about 5-10 degrees.
Yeah.
I think
78.
Perfect.
I don't think we're going to get many of those.
He lives out in the desert.
Phoenix set a record this year.
140?
Like 120 days in a row of over 100 degrees.
Jeez. What's that mean? That means, are we pushing on Earth so much we're getting close to the core, it's on fire and it's heating up?
Must be.
I don't know, but it hasn't been fun. But this week it's like 85. It's phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
We're back.
It's dry heat.
The weather's broke.
This is the time to be.
Or it's a big tease.
How do you feel about the Cardinals? You asked JJ about them.
I really like them. This is the best offensive line they've had in a while. I mean, and they're missing their left tackle. Missing their right tackle.
All right.
I'm trying to because they moved Paris Johnson.
Okay. Yep. You want to do a giveaway or
Sure.
What? Are you gonna make? I haven't made one in a while.
Just Jonah Williams is the guy they're missing, but Kelvin Beacham's filling in. 13-year pro, former
player,
Pittsburgh Steeler.
Okay. Look at this guy. He knows.
Yeah. Just had reach in there.
He's always in the trenches.
At Penn State brain.
He doesn't hop in, hop out.
No.
He's in the trenches.
Lives there.
Always has been.
Born there.
Original.
Herb Street has officially been on the record as stating that he knew nothing about The Price is Right.
Nice try.
Hey, boy, Hawk.
Dickhead.
Look it up. Check it out.
prick.
Look it up.
All right.
Absolutely.
Agent probably shot it down.
That is before it even made its way to
Before he
Herb
made it
Street.
to his desk.
He don't want to do Price is Right. Thanks. He'll do that in 30 years. That's a good gig if you can get it.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Ryan Seacrest picking up Wheel of Fortune. Congratulations. Now, he's obviously one of the most famous hosts in the history. The amount of workload that he had there for a while. He had that morning show for KISS at LA. Then he was hosting everything, seemingly.
American Idol.
American Idol at the same exact time as he was taking on all of Dick Clark's stuff. He became like the new...
His like production studio.
Yeah, and then he was producing, the Kardashians.
Kardashians.
And doing the whole thing. Seacrest had a hell of a run.
Yeah.
I think he's okay on Wheel of Fortune.
What do you mean producing the Kardashians? I thought that was just their life and they're filming it.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to produce the footage.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's got to get the footage, cut the footage.
I thought you were saying like they set up situations or something like that.
No, Seacrest probably.
Yeah,
Pretty damn close if he's not.
Just doing Wheel of Fortune for the next 20 years.
Yep.
Don't mess it up. Yeah. That's what I said to the guy last night. I like the little sauce on it. All right, speaking of sauce, AQ, why don't you add a little bit to this beautiful In the Trenches Wednesday, September 18th? If you could put that football into that hoop over there, 25 people will win $500. This would be a great way to wrap up this beautiful hump day.
Amen.
AQ Shipley, you got a Navy SEAL shirt on. Why don't you protect and serve the people real quick? All right.
Ooh.
That
was a good throw.
Good
Ended up in the mail bucket. I like the angle in which you were taking that path, because there's been a few times this year where you have seemingly embarrassed your family. And this time, it's not going to be the case. Because when you put that football into that hoop right over there, 25 people will win $500. AQ Shipley, Super Bowl champion!
I'll start trying back it.
Tone Diggs has a question about the Super Crocs on your foot down there.
No socks.
You don't get blisters on that?
Those are the Canes, right? The Canes are like the...
Canes, yeah, they're incredible.
They're the luxury Crocs, right?
Oh, wow.
Well, it's just Crocs with heels.
luxury Crocs.
Yeah. Crocs have heels. You can put them in sport mode.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to be able to. You don't got to flip them up and down. You're saying this is constant flip up Croc.
You wear those in the pool?
Just power calves.
Yeah, he's got big calves. He's got big calves.
Jeez.
Yeah, and he's got some terrible shoes. You know, I mean,
What is your problem?
I like
These
them.
are unbelievable.
I like those shoes. I like
they're
those shoes
cool.
a lot. I like those shoes a lot.
Super comfortable.
I would try them on. You were one of the first people I've ever seen that wore Crocs 24/7, actually. Wore them into events that you certainly should not wear Crocs to, and then would wear them into work the next day. I mean, you were a Crocs wearer from day one. So whenever this cane came around, as soon as I saw it, they were trying to influence me, and I was like, this is like another Croc. I immediately thought of you. And then I saw Foss. Foss ordered like 4 pairs of them. He's like, they're the most comfortable shoe I've ever worn.
Wow.
And I knew. You're the most predictable thing of all time, you having those fucking shoes on. I just want to let you know that.
You need a pair. I'm going to buy you a pair.
Why don't you buy all of us a pair?
Yeah.
I will buy everybody a pair.
I won't wear them. Yeah. Appreciate the offer.
I'm only going to buy them. People are going to wear
Thank you,
them.
guys.
I don't need
Appreciate
it.
it.
I'll try.
I'll wear them.
I'll definitely wear them.
11
Connor.
11 and a half, Kush.
Can I get red, white, and blue
Well,
ones?
yeah. What are all the designs? Is there a cocaine white version of those?
Yep,
Fresh
there's white.
whites.
There's white with Carolina blue, which I have, which are awesome.
Fresh whites are hard to find these days. I'll take some fresh white cocaine wear that you're wearing.
Mm-hmm. Is there
take those
like one of those
same
cool
colorway.
like concrete cookies and cream looking ones?
Oh, I like that.
I think that's what these are, aren't they?
No, it's a little different. We'll go through some designs.
How much are they? Are those expensive? If you have to ask. Anyways, 25 people could win $500 if AQ Shipley's able to put this football into this basketball hoop to our right. You can maybe buy your own. Oh, what a shot! 25 people, $500. Maybe buy yourself a pair of those shoes.
Hey, cool Croc!
Definitely.
Super Crocs. Woo! Canes. Way to win. All you got to do is repost this post, say something nice to somebody, and put the easiest way to pay you. AQ, way to go, bud.
Let's go.
Hey, keep wearing those shoes.
OG.
Rest of the year.
Yep.
That's awesome.
That was sick.
All right. AJ, great work. D-Butch, great work.
You too,
Everybody in the back, way to keep going. Tomorrow, football again.
Let's go.
Okay, let's get excited.
Big one.
Big one tomorrow. Lot of conversation.
High scoring.
That's right. And also, as we look ahead to the NFL weekend, those who go 0-3, it's over.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Slipping away.
Over.
That's all she wrote.
Oh, boy.
Their panic button, just like this.
Start booking your vacation.
Start firing people.
Yeah, well, that's what everybody's thinking. This is our last year here, team. We are getting fired, for sure. Have you seen the stats on how many 0-3 teams make the playoffs and how many have in less than? None. Okay, so there have been, I believe there have been that have gone 0-4 actually made it. Everybody has hopes, but the number is very small for it happening in the past. So everybody needs a win that's 0-2, the Colts included, because we're going to go win Super Bowl. Baltimore Ravens, they're potentially thinking this. Oh.
I mean, come on. The way you said it, I didn't even sense the belief, but I'm with you.
All right. We got a big weekend ahead. Let's enjoy it. Tone, come out of house arrest.
Yep.
Need you, brother.
He said come in. That was very kind. Could hear him out there.
There he is.
Good
hustle, Tony.
Still got it.
Yeah, you do. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice about change their life. We're in this thing together. Team on me, team on 3. 1, 2, 3, team. Goodbye.